Live. It's a beautiful day. Be live. My controller doesn't work. Plug it back in. Double drops today. What? Yeah, but I don't need either of these right now. I need tuners. Sure. Sure. Podcast. Quest. Do the Yinling quest. Wait. First, I'm going to look at how many of these do I have? Okay. Backpack. Backpack. It kind of looks like I am bereft of weapon experience. Let's use this weapon experience.
As you wish. Burn. Inferno. Burn to ashes. Burn.
Now. Six on experience is probably the best part about this.
Leave me alone. As you wish. Inferno. As you wish. Inferno.
Attack the thing in front of you, please. Pepe.
What clinger? As you wish. Feel my wrath. Burn. Inferno. As you wish.
All right. Quick and easy. Quick and easy. Hot and it's ready. Let's do the daily quest. Quick. Or just straight kitty. Straight kitty. Newborn cats. It's just the same cat models they've been using, but slightly shrunk. Big brain. Do I get Yinlin? Ugh. I really want Yinlin.
War spares no one.
Didn't mean it. Just ultimated this child. Catamecian? Go caramel. Oh. That. Moon and Echo. The size, Calamity class. Okay, there's. Okie dokie. It's 2,000 experience. Decent chunk into 38. Yeah, let's go do Yinlin's companion quest.
Oh, so you've accepted my invitation, Rover. Well, yes. My name is Laurent. Since you were here, you must have lost someone too.
Daddy?
Now, Yuan, no need to be afraid. Yes, my daughter.
I am Daddy.
Absolutely, my dear. We will stay together. Ah, yes. Once we were set. Truly a miracle, is it not?
This guy is scamming me.
And you, yes, you too can be No, can't you see? You are.
Daddy, what's happening?
He seems off. Is he?
No, No, I am not leaving her.
What?
Yuan! Shut up! Take your hands up!
That's enough, Lorong. She'll be safe in my care. You still have other things to do, remember?
No, don't! Yuan!
Or what is that?
Lorong, do you
Character
wanna lose
model?
your daughter again?
No,
Now hand over the girl. You see, that man is her father. Why do you want to separate them? Oh, well, whatever.
What?
Wan, come over here.
Yes.
Good girl. Stay here, Wan. And why would you be concerned? Smart girls know how to mind their own business.
Smart girls?
Oh, you're quite the fighter.
Smart
How
girls?
Shh! They're coming. It's the patrollers. Now, if you don't want to get into trouble, better do as I say, including what's happening with the Seance Society.
Sure.
Smart choice. Good. Now come give me a hand. We'll need to hide the traces of
Wait, what? What fighting?
Everything's
I
back
shouldn't
to where
have
they were
skipped.
before. Found a piece of paper inside date of transaction. Signee. Laurent. That should do the trick.
This should be good enough to get past their eyes. The patrollers are almost here.
Shh! You there! We heard some commotion coming from this area.
Nothing, officer. We were
They were
just
just hanging out.
Really? Then what was that loud
I
banging
mean-
and shouting?
Oh, this girl just tripped over. Poor thing nearly cried her eyes out. I'm sure it's just a
Is that so?
It seems she can't find her father. We were just trying to help. Right, Rover?
I see. I don't have other questions.
Leave the girl to us. We'll help find her father.
Thanks, but we've got this. Little one seems quite shy. She's just warming up to us. Wouldn't want to bother you further.
And nothing suspicious about this character at all.
Don't worry, you're not bothering us.
Trust me, I understand how tedious a patroller's job. My name's Yinglin. I'm also a patroller. Here's my ID.
Oh, a fellow patrol.
You sure this is real?
You think I can't tell a fake ID when I see it? Shut your mouth.
No reason
Shut
you would
your
have seen me.
mouth.
I don't work here. Just visiting
Makes
Then we'll leave the girl to you. If you can't find her dad, bring her to the patroller station. Come on, we're going, Rookie.
Enjoy your day. Have fun in Jinzhou. Oh, hey! Wait up, Captain!
Do I not look the part?
No.
I didn't plan to blow my cover, but I would have risked them finding out about Wan otherwise.
Wan.
You should see for yourself. Let your soul rest. Return to your true form, daughter of Lorong, Wan. Yes, a puppet to be exact. And the so-called Seance Society. They offer these puppets to people who have... These puppets can perfectly replicate the personalities of the deceased. Yes. With the puppet, she has been... People gave up everything to join this society. As for how they got their hands on these puppets, beware. The puppets may seem harmless, but those who got to it... Lorong's the recruiter. You're the perfect outside. But it seems he picked the word. I need to apprehend the true culprit, but this is not your problem. I'm on a mission. Laurent's transaction record. You're such a box of surprises. Sure, why not? I'll give you what you want, but I don't want prying eyes. If you're really that curious.
Okay, so she isn't making the robot. Don't mind me. Just standing on top of this dead child. What the hell is going on over there?
We meet again.
Dang.
As
I was really hoping the
expected.
cutscene would keep me on top of the
This
robot.
place seems safe. So, didn't know this is supposed to be confidential. My orders were clear. Infiltrate the seance. So far, I've had no luck meeting any of their higher-ups. Just playing a system for Laurent to gain their trust. So, any questions? They operate under the guise of a The Seance Society lures people in with their promise
just like
of
real
bringing
life.
back their loved one. Despite previously keeping a low profile, they've recently become more from what I've gathered. They're in cahoots with Fraxid, and a Fraxidus intervention would have. So, any question? Laurent, once a Midnight Ranger, he joined the Society to see his daughter again, and he truly believes the puppets are living mirrors. He could have been a good father, but his So, any questions? Aside from recruiting new people in Jinzhou, Laurent and I were given another task. See the transaction record in your hands? Some Fraxidus members ordered a batch of puppets from the Society. We're in charge. Not until their collaboration started. I planned to investigate these prototypes, but Laurent keeps things very tight. He never. It's almost time for the deal. I need to bring with the Fraxidus in play. Think now you know the nitty-gritty details. You don't seem to be mourning. Why the interest? You've suffered a memory loss. Indeed, if they can make such lifelike puppets by tapping into people. But we need to find them first. You can be. Laurent and I are about to meet the Fraxidus for our deal. He will then leave. I will need you to follow him and send me. And you're in already. Oh, well, you seem real. They're coming. I'll bring Wan Wan to him. Hopefully he won't suspect. Rise and shine, Wan Wan.
Miss Yinlin?
Don't worry, Wan Wan. I'm taking you to Daddy in just a moment. But
Okay.
that's my girl. I'm leaving the rest to you, Rover.
Go to the meeting place, or I go over here and beat the soul of this boar.
Sever! Strike!
What do I do? Glacio on the fusion set.
It's time.
Could have guessed.
Laurent, here's your daughter, as I promised.
Yuan. I was so afraid.
Please don't cry, Dad.
No.
Enough with the make-believe.
Not the chubby
That's a puppet.
Fraxidius member.
Daddy,
No.
Wan Wan's 10 times more human.
You call that thing human? That's just a robot lab rat.
True.
Enough. We don't have time.
Laurent, go bring them the.
Hey, we ain't got. No.
What?
We'll make you regret this.
After him! You're going nowhere either, Missy.
You're going nowhere
Here we
either,
go.
Missy.
Laurent's trying to escape with the puppets. Here's hoping that Rover can stop him in time.
You followed closely behind Laurent. Is that Laurent James? Famous baseball? Basketball. So I turned to make one joke about LeBron James, and the game just goes, no. Rude. Spot where I need to like hide or something? This is not a stealth mechanic thing at all. You just run right next to him.
It's time.
What?
Daddy,
How did little bro
tired.
not notice that I was here?
It's okay, Yuan Yuan.
those scary people.
Not just you, Yuan Yuan.
Or why did they get this
all the
guy
puppets
to
here.
repeatedly say
But I
the
won't let
daughter's
them.
name?
I'll make sure
Didn't
every
tell him how to
puppet
pronounce
finds
it.
home, together with people who love and need them, Master Dollmaker. How could you?
Dollmaker.
Is Master Dollmaker bad, Daddy?
I'm not sure anymore.
Doesn't matter now. I guess they still have some morals.
I spotted them over there.
I spotted them.
Can't hide from this good old sniffer of mine.
That's no way did you just say to a man with his daughter that I could smell you from anywhere.
Yuan Yuan, get behind Daddy, quick.
I'll grab these puppets now.
Can't hide from
What
this
about that
sniffer.
guy, boss?
Ice him. We'll take that, huh? I will not.
The wrong's going to severely overclock at this rate.
Gasp. Eek gasp.
Hey, what the hell are you doing here?
What the hell are you doing here?
One man's not gonna make a difference.
I'm from
Get rid of
Jersey.
them now.
Forgetting someone, are we?
They like whenever they ask with the accent from like the British voice actors where they're like, do an American accent,
Those
and this guy
idiots.
was just
They were
like,
supposed to take care
hell
of
yeah, I
you.
got
Careful.
I got a Boston
Sorry, I
an
knocked out your
accent
friends earlier.
on
We're not
lockdown.
playing. What do you say? Care to give Laurent and his daughter? You may have these puppets here.
You think we're stupid or what?
Aw, you sure you want to do that?
Partners? You're just a bunch of lab rat keepers trying to play the game.
So they're not up for peace talks. What do you say, Rover? True. You know your Fraxidus well.
What? Where'd that guy come from?
You've got some moves. Guess I can
What
rely
moves?
on you a bit more. I'll be counting on you.
I like.
Exterminate.
How did you like the fight? Are you injured?
I can
Oh,
take
really?
a dozen more.
We took care of him for now. What a surprise. I thought you never tried. Fine. I'll spare you the teasing for now. Don't worry. We took care of all the Fraxidus people here. They may still question me, but I've mastered gaining trust with lies. It's the key, just like what I did to you. A bug and a tracker. I put it there the first time we met. Don't trust anyone. That you may not belong to any group.
Trust
But
no
you
one,
seem
not
to
even
care
yourself.
For Laurent and Yuan, I can't risk you betraying me by helping. Of course, Dollmaker. We're getting close to the truth. I did a quick checkup on Laurent. Yuan returned to her puppet form once Laurent. I doubt she'll be reactivated anytime soon. Yeah, but we gotta move. Go collect the puppets. I'll look after Laurent.
these. Finally, my Biden bucks have arrived.
Acknowledged. But I... Yes. It's my they'll be sending people over soon. Are you done with the pup? That's fine. My contact informed me of a safe house not far from here. We'll have a designated meetup spot. Let's move. Can't let the
Let's move. Use the sensor to find the markings.
Summer!
Drop anything? Rude. Button.
This should come in handy.
Neat. I have to like interact with it, or okay, I didn't do anything different that time, but okay. Everything, bud.
No more markings inside.
Look.
They were thorough. The safe house is
They
hidden
were
and
thorough.
has a passcode. There should be some hints nearby. Let's look.
Right password. 0000.
Yes? See those flowers? Try counting them. I have a feeling they make
1, 2, 3. Sure. To the wasn't expecting that interface.
We should be good in here. This safe house, the Fraxidus won't find us here. It's as safe and secure as it gets. Nothing gets in, and nothing gets out.
Dylan, why you gonna betray me like this?
Don't bother. You won't find any patrollers here. I told you before. Don't
No.
trust anyone, remember?
What a special specimen. You would make for value. Time to have my men take him back to the
Oh,
camp.
okay. The voice line was cut off. Just 1.0 things. Surely in 1.1 they'll fix it.
It's hard to tell from what little I've gathered so far.
Hey, they left me with my
I was trapped
weapons.
inside this ball. There's something between the cracks. A tablet with an encrypted transmitter. But why would I find it here? The Seance Society. Some of the names of these are probably the Seance. Am I in their base of operation? I guess that's all the clues. I should use it to inform Chisha and the others of my situation.
Tap the button. Oh, it's the rhythm game. Straight up photocopier noises. Reminds me of being the library back in the early 90s. Any 90s kids in chat today?
Done. Here's hoping they'll get my message. Now, how do I get out of here?
Oh, you're awake. Come out then.
Question. Who could this be? Definitely not Inland.
Look at you. I went with maximum voltage back there. Thought you might never wake up again. I was gonna get... You're welcome. But save your gratitude for Master Dom.
Why, you insolent little whippersnapper.
Yeah.
Show some manners when you're talking to Miss Yinlin. Where is your family? Youngsters like you. Oh, it's family reunion day. Go sit down next to the bonfire and stay there. Don't you be thinking of slipping off.
You heard the kind lady. You can try to escape without Dr. Wu Sheng's antidote. It's all up to you. Just you were planning to ask Master Dollmaker about... It's the Seance Society's headquarters. Why don't you just join the society? Make things easier for all of us. Good try. Come on. Joining or not, it won't...
Miss Yinlin.
Don't worry.
I see, whatever. I just want to stay with my... So what? He's...
Rover, let's stop it here.
I won't let anyone threaten our peaceful life ever again.
This is just a camp full of delusional people.
Greetings, stranger. Right you are. The two of us and Lirong.
How are you feeling?
Well, thanks for asking, Miss Yinlin. Lirong, though, we served in the same unit. He Cheng overclocked, trying to save me. I know the risks. I'll do...
Bro, what?
I know staying with us puppets will make my hubby sick eventually.
Like my hubby.
Maybe we are causing harm by...
And make my hubby sick.
Dr. Wu Sheng.
Out of danger for now, but he's still in a coma. Sorry. I'm not that familiar with taking care of resonators. There's not much else I can...
Shame. He shouldn't have disobeyed...
Well, yes. We had no other choice. You refused to join... No. Why would I need... This is the only place where we can forever live with our loved ones. I do, but I also know why doctors can't save everyone. I could only watch as my better half passed. Master Dollmaker saved us with his pup. What about you? Do you have someone you desperately need to see again? Feeling lost? I suggest...
I just remembered there's another place we need to visit. Come with me. Relax. Nothing's gonna happen to you. Not yet, at least.
Do you?
You're not one of us.
You're not one of us. How did you sneak in?
Are you injured?
Miss Yinlin! You're back.
Easy there. You need. This is Master Dollmaker's guest.
It is my duty to protect. I'm fine.
No more duties if you die from those wounds.
Do I?
We no longer need you to
Do I
protect
pull
this
for
place,
Yinlin? That's the
remember?
real question.
But Master Dollmaker, he...
That won't be necessary.
He's really fun.
Master Dollmaker.
And she works really well with Galgero.
But...
Enough. You heard what I said. Stay put. I'll go
That's the real question. Investigate inside the tent. Oh. Is this technically a tent?
What did she want to tell the doll? The message is still here.
More like a lean-to.
This. But why is it here? Is the
slightly aged
looks
diary?
Like a child's. There's a crude drawing folded inside. Is it the handiwork of or a memory of...
Yinlin is no longer an option.
The Dollmaker has been.
It'd be kind of a Giga Chat move if Yinlin was also a doll.
Yinlin
You
will
didn't
be
know.
back any moment now.
What if that was the twist?
This should do it. If it still hurts,
Thank you, Miss Yinlin.
go find somewhere safe to rest.
But...
We're burning it all. Stand back. I'll use my... Oh, so you've read what's written inside. You seem to enjoy meddling in other people's business. On second thought, the past can't be... Burning these makes no difference. And the flames still, Chusha. You should leave this place.
What if those monsters come at us again?
Your safety matters far more than these objects of the past.
Understood.
Understood. Yeah, Chusha. Get out of here.
You've talked with everyone I see. They're just some poor souls longing to see their loved ones again. Master Dollmaker saves them, letting them make amends. A noble cause, is it? How is it betrayal? Having a cop on our side makes things easier for the Seance Society.
Having a
Don't you
cop
agree?
on our side. Who's the cop?
I was just a young orphan. Never knew whom he taught me combat, puppetry. I owe my life to him.
Yinlin, I
Yes.
guess.
His eyes are... We're all his subjects. He needs... Every one of us has been aware of this, but that's not for your ears. But I do admit you're not... You rescued Lorong and showed respect to the puppets. They weren't just... Look at you. And maybe you're better suited to be a patroller than me. Kindness. Or maybe I couldn't just stand by either. That's up to you. Trust is a delicate... Enough chatter for now. I'll take...
Help! Help!
No, help! The heels! Where are the
What's
heels?
going on?
Miss Yinlin, the task...
Go tell your grandma.
Oh, okay.
What about you, Rover? Will you join them? Or flee
But
while
there's
you
no
can in
way
this
that
chaos?
that earring is comfortable to wear.
So you want to help protect them? Knew it. Everything, huh? The secrets I hold might be bigger than you imagine. If you really want to know, you'll need to survive this.
Do I? Oh no, not a single Havoc Warrior. They're just standing there.
Watch and learn.
She's very cool. Please hurry up and die.
You won't cast me down.
Surrender now! We've got you surrounded!
Surrender now.
My, that's quite the party.
Hey, who the hell?
And if I don't?
What is this supposed to mean? What is this on me?
Shut up!
Don't worry.
Freeze! Shut
I'm
up.
not going
Typical cop
anywhere.
behavior.
I've got a hostage.
Whoa, you?
I wouldn't try anything stupid if I were you.
Ah, fine. Lower your weapons, guys.
Just write some message on my back.
Trust me. Come this way.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Some TDs found their way inside and we're now surrounded by a bunch of cops. Hard to make it out of here with the specimens.
Dang cops.
Fortunately, you caught that rover. Whether he's
Rover.
useful for research or not, holding him hostage will buy us some time.
What should I do next, man?
Here's the coordinates. Bring him.
He's a sly one, ready to bolt.
I have trackers planted on him. He's not going. We'll talk once you get there.
You heard him. You're in our turf. Better not get any bright ideas. Well,
You'll
that's
pay
not
for
your
this.
problem. Also, no one's coming to your rescue anytime soon.
Hitting us with
Guess
this
you managed to send
quadruple,
out a distress call. Somehow it
double,
slipped past us.
triple agent
Hand it
type
over.
deal.
Don't try to deceive me.
What if I hit her with a "You Can Dream"?
Funny. You think you have a choice. You are a valuable test subject. I don't want to make things difficult
Surprised
for
they
you
actually had me
unless you
hold
force
the
my
tablet, or
hands.
had it
Got
hold
it?
the tablet.
Here's the thing. Dollmaker's listening to our every word. All my efforts will be wasted if he suspects anything. I'll be typing on this tablet for you to see. Very well. If you can refrain from unnecessary struggle, we won't have to do things the hard way. You don't need to know. Now get... We're in the factory where the Dollmaker makes his puppets. This... Patience. You'll know once you see him. Dollmaker's in bed with the Fraxidus, trading overclock-inducing puppets for I need your help to collect proof of his crimes. No more wasting time. Let's go.
Let's go.
I'll take off your restraints on the way. I need you to pretend.
Hit her with an understood. This game could really benefit for doing like, instead of like the tacit fields and stuff like that, it was just like a dungeon. Bring in some MMO aspects. These gacha games.
Strange. The path is blocked.
It'd be fun multiplayer
That thing should
content.
Open it back up. I'll handle it.
see.
You guarding this place from out of my way. Master... They're overclocking. The bunch of cops that just attacked us pushed them over the edge.
Those damn cops.
Crush them!
Watch and learn. Be gone. Cleave it.
She's so very cool. I'm usually not much for like puppetry characters.
I can't get through here, but Zapstring should
But
be
the
able
way
to
that
get
she
under
feels
it.
to play is actually so good. Hold on. I just run under the thing. This seems like an overly complex set of things. Imagine trying to do this in your everyday life. Oh man, I gotta go back to the forum to talk to these guys and get some parts shipped in. Well, gotta unlock all these laser gates by using a doll. There's got to be a better way. I don't know, a regular door.
The alarms in the lower levels. The control system's crashed.
There's no time to waste. Now you behave.
Your time is over!
That's all I'm saying. Like, just... There's just gotta be an easier way to do this. And like 80% of these doors can just be unlocked by just a group of two and then having one guy crawl under the lasers.
Good. Those exiles can't reach us now. Master Dollmaker's chamber is right up
Like the
ahead.
Dollmaker's supposed to be
Don't
this
die on me
like
now.
mastermind bad guy, and then like, well, like two guys could just walk into this place
many
and solve all
prototype
of those.
puppets. How many secret here? Record the physical status of these. These are his prize achievements. We need photos of. That's more like it. Remember to capture.
Using the Sense camera. Okay.
Good. There's no time to waste.
Is that like an actual tool? So. Or do I just... Oh, zoom. That'll probably do it.
Military grade mechs. How did they get their hands on these? That's the total number of prototype puppets. Imagine what would happen if they were all activated at once.
I just presume that if I had to fight 140 puppets, that I would just. I've been playing Dynasty Warriors my entire life.
Puppets
Like, I
are
prepared for
powered
this
by
moment.
these metal canisters. That's why non-resonators can activate the puppets.
Intruder, kill her.
That guy's
They
voice.
can't even recognize me.
I'll get you,
Plan.
Gadget.
We take them out, of course. We can't stay here too long. Make it quick. Time to wrap it up.
Bro, her
The stage.
design goes insane. It really does. They were just like physics? Nah. Booty jiggles. As much as possible.
Cleave it.
The more that I play this character, the better.
Your time is over. Watch and learn.
Also, would it kill for like a Chinese developer to put like women in like high heels? And it's all the more impressive when the character can do this type of stuff while wearing heels, but I feel like it'd be more practical to wear, I don't know, like combat boots or something. I need to go check, which is a weird thing to say. Go look at some of the characters' feet. But I wonder if the rollers in the main city, I wonder if the female characters wear her heels. Never paid attention to it. Look at this big ominous robot hand.
Yinlin, you made it. Have those cops entered the factory?
Have those cops entered the factory?
Not yet, but those exiles were overclocking, and
It's fine. They're disposable.
Who's this like Obito like motherfucker?
They're a bunch of outcasts, willing to do whatever it takes to survive. No one would mourn them if they died.
Wow. True.
Oh? Me? I could save them, I'm sure. But who's going to save me?
Jesus, I guess? I don't know.
Stop it, Dollmaker. My parents would not consent to being.
Yinlin, I thought at least you would understand me. I don't blame you. You were too young when they passed away, after all. You hardly remember them. And that's why I couldn't revive them from your memories. Nor from my own, either.
Why not? Why not from your own?
This is where you come in, Rover.
A
You're a
rover.
godsend. A gift from above. Precisely. With help from the Fraxidus, plus your body's data, I will
What do I
finally
have to do with it?
Dollmaker, you.
I was an outcast, alone and shunned, until my mentor and his wife took me in. They were my true family. I'll do anything to bring them back, no matter the price.
I'm the
So
good guy.
what?
It's almost time. We'll have to leave the factory behind, but my identity must stay hidden.
But our people are still...
Our people? There's...
What about Rover?
Same as before, Yinlin. Just no need to keep him intact this time. Some level of basic consciousness. I'll leave 2 puppets here to...
We'll need the data
Yes, my research data. That's more
Why
valuable
did he,
than
like,
my life.
do the hand motion as if, oh man, I totally forgot about the thing that is most important to me?
I'll take care of the data transfer. Yinlin, you deal with this person. Be quick.
What? So this man has godlike reactions.
What are you doing?
It all ends here, Dom. You of all people should know what...
Yinlin, you...
I have never forgotten who I am. My bloodline is they fought to the last minute of their lives.
Everything I've done.
No.
I did it for them.
You did it, but my parents are gone. So are everyone
Bro just wants
else's
to be
loved
back in
ones.
his polycule.
It's time we wake...
No. Don't you dare.
Careful. Those people don't look right. They've all
Careful.
Get lost.
Why would I do anything other than just play as her right now?
Watch and learn. Time to wrap it up.
Where are we? We gotta fight the giant robot hand now?
Lightning has destroyed the control panel and hologram projectors. This is what the factory really
Oh,
looks
it's just...
like. This thing, the Fraxidus. You got this from them in exchange for...
Me? Their pawn? Ha! I'm...
Could get it because he's the doll maker. Get it?
Pay it back tenfold.
Excuse me. Hit the button.
You won't cast me down.
Fury boils.
Leave me alone.
Inferno. Let's do this in burn to ashes.
Oh.
Tear them to
There we go.
Zap strain. It's our turn. Crush them. I can't keep going.
Unleash the fans. Summer.
It's all over, Dollmaker. Surrender now.
Shinlin! How could you do this to me? I created this home for my followers. They found you too, Yinlin! You had the chance to reunite with your family. Why are you doing this to me?
Puppets can never replace real
I
family.
never met my parents, but my actions are guided by their beliefs.
The Fast and Furious taught me anything.
As a child, I bemoaned my
All about
misfortune,
family.
but I knew better than to harm others to make up for it. The dead deserve peace, but the presence is mine to control.
What's wrong with doing what I can for our happiness? Laws and principles
I mean, no,
are
he's not
just
wrong.
tools.
Is that why you must deprave others of their happiness?
Suddenly justice matters to you? Don't tell me you
This
still
is
think
a little bit of
I already
propaganda.
wiped your data from their records. No one knows you were a patroller. You can't prove it to anyone now.
I hacked your accounts.
Yes.
And
They may never allow me back. Doesn't matter now. It's a small price
Again.
to pay to stop you and the greater evil you serve. I don't need a recognized identity to... I should
True.
get going. And please, keep it secret from the patrollers. Next time we meet, I'll explain all. And I'll thank you properly, I guess.
I guess. Whatever.
Quick, over there!
Yeah, I think the female characters are wearing like high-heeled boots. No way.
Rover! Are you okay?
Tisha.
We've sent those civilians back to They weren't super excited to leave for some. There was really not much we could do about. Oh, where's that woman who kidnapped you?
Oh, she's wearing combat boots, I guess.
Don't tell me she's already gone.
Okay.
Quick, we're
We're
going
good.
after her.
We got a good mix.
Yeah, she's a slip. Also, something about her. We'll table that for now. Rover, you're a crucial witness. I'll see you there.
I trust you can use it to the full.
Do I pull for Yinlin? She's really cool.
So that's what the Seance Society was up to. Somehow the Fraxidus was involved too. The man's still not saying nothing about that suspect lady. Oh, so the missing cases led us to... Unbelievable. We'd be... Huh? And who's that?
An emissary of justice hidden in the... This is Batman?
Come on, you need to be more specific. Well, that's it for now. Ring...
You know how to find
A letter
me.
without a signature. It can only lead to one thing. Yinlin. She's waiting for me.
She's
Same as
waiting.
last time, she said. Must be the wolf markings. I should look around.
Oh, Rover sounds kind of down bad for Yinlin. She's waiting for me.
Splendid view, right? As promised, I owe you a lot of explanation. No, I wasn't expecting to meet you. My order was to oversee our deal with the Fraxidus. You were just a pawn in my plan to find where Laurent kept the puppets. But I didn't expect him to try and escape with them. Couldn't risk exposing myself yet, so I had to track him down and retrieve the puppet. Around that time, Dollmaker caught wind of your special abilities. He asked me to bring you to that... Oh, really? I even upped the voltage for the best effect. Was that just a zap to you?
Tell him your
No
business.
wonder our Dollmaker took so much interest in that body of yours.
What is that? It's like an actual earring, or is that some kind of like magnetized deal that's not actually like weighing down on her?
He tried, but couldn't. According to him,
I'm gonna assume it's
you possess a
magic because there's
power
just no
beyond
way
his
that.
understanding that prevented him from prying into your mind. You might be more special than you had thought.
There's just no way that that's a normal, comfortable earring.
Said he couldn't
No
read
way.
your mind without risking his own sanity, let alone retrieve any information. I can't imagine what the hell is going on beneath. Who knows? Maybe you helped some strangers again only to mess with I say you should stop playing hero and take better care of yourself. You'll live longer that way. Don't think I need to, since you can handle yourself just fine. We have a lot in common. Both alone in this world.
She really is Batman coded.
Maybe I'll keep you in my thoughts. A reminder that I'm not the only solitary soul out there. And eventually, we'll both learn to move through our lives with loneliness. Perhaps the same loneliness
Does that
was
make
too
Rover
much for
Catwoman?
Dollmaker to bear. That's why he gave up everything to resurrect. Yes. After my parents' death, we all became chess pieces to him, myself included. Raised me to be a patroller for his own agenda. In the end, I did become a patroller, but maybe I'm indeed a heart-wrenching betrayer to him. Yes, we all have to face the consequences of our actions, but if I had acted sooner...
I mean, this is the most
this whole
unbelievable
mess
part
could
of
have
it.
been avoided.
Anybody that had
Why
a
didn't I
conscience
do
and became a
something?
cop and didn't
Perhaps,
immediately want to
like
betray all the
everyone else
cops
in the Seance Society, I too held on to that naive
seems a
pipe
little,
dream, the dream of finally meeting my parents and
seems a
having
little
a real family.
out of the
I
realm
indulged in
of
it more than I care to
disbelief.
admit. Deep down, I knew my dream was built upon the sacrifices of innocent. Because I met you, a total outsider. A lot of it still remains unresolved.
Because I'm the good guy.
Dollmaker was merely a cog in the wheel. Yes. We must stay vigilant until we expose. Don't tell me you're pulling out at this point.
Who wrote this dialogue?
If you are, I may have to wipe my true identity from your head. But it was a joke. Anyway, I should thank you. Because of you, I
Don't
was
tell
able
me
to
you're
accomplish
pulling
far
out.
more and save many more lives than I imagined. You feel different. I have the feeling I can always trust your work. Well, take a guess. Oh, and lastly, there is another thing I should thank you for. Until we meet again, Rover. Perhaps I'll meet you under an entirely different identity next time.
They really were just like, yeah, let's make Kafka and Sparkle, but also Batman. Or I guess maybe a little bit more Black Widow than Batman, I guess at that point. It still holds up. Two more levels, I get another single standard pull. Now. These are done. Cool. Well, here. Backpack. All right. Do I pull for Yenlin? I do want to pull for her weapon. I'm positive that it's Encore's Biss. Positive. We'll double check. I'm sure that some of the math wizards have come up with numbers. So I think I will pull for this, certain. And maybe he go for Yenlin. I don't know. First 10 pull, let's get it. Did I seriously not even get a 4-star? I only single pulled. I was like, no way, dude. Hit the wrong button. There we go. Give me a good 4-star weapon. I'm in dire need of weapons in this game. Nice. It's the axe sword. Yeah. Watch me immediately go and equip this. Sanhua. I can just superimpose it whenever I get the 5-star sword. Why do the character ascension materials also go into this? Why is everything so expensive? It's insane. Alright. More weapon pulls. Alright, second 10 pull. Surely I get it here. Never mind. Yeah. %, attack and 10% HP. Okay. Convene 10. Okay, that's the broadsword, right? Wait, is that broadsword or is that a regular sword? Resonating against 6 acts of oath. Each its stack increases attack by 2%. Okay, so percent. Oh, so it's just kind of meh, really. Team 10. Bro, come on, just one early in any game ever. I get an early 5-star. Nope. The answer is no. You do. Bunch of energy. Okay. There we go.
The streams have guided
Okay.
I have a feeling
Yang.
we'll be companions for many moons.
And need to build her for team 3. Way. What if I got a double? No. Alright. That leaves me a decent chunk of pulls still. Okay. Are leveled one day. You. Inspiration. Take a rank 2 in Scotland. Cadenza. Cadenza will basically be good if I absolutely need the energy. Shite. Better just. Do I? And he's basically just there for the swap buff. So might be better. Question. Does want Void Thunder. A bunch of those sitting around. Oh, do I pull for Yinlin? Basically just turns it into a more Teffy Yinlin Calchero team. Then I can move her. To the third team, maybe? Think. I do Yinlin. And it would be Mortefi, Yinlin, Calcharo. I presume. Really, the support doesn't necessarily have to be Mortefi, so I could just keep Mortefi and Janshin together. I get Yinlin. Go Yinlin and Calcharo. But who would his support be? Not for him. It's Baija. Rena, if I get her eventually. This is certainly a question. And I wouldn't want these Encore, because I would be putting String Master on her. That being said, I can just swap equipment whenever I'm on a different side of the tower. Huge deal. If I have to use Encore. Yeah, you know what? Let's do it. Let's pull on Yinlin. Skip this. Alto. Okay. She's not even on the rate up. She's on that rate up. Well. Another Alto. Okay. We win the 50-50. That's the question.
Chissa, ally of justice at your service.
How are you showing up twice? Oh no, this is a bad sign. We're off bannering the 4-star rate up, which means we are 100% losing this 50-50. Oh no.
What's that look on your face? Surprised to see me?
So I got her really early. Yeah, that's 140 pulls, literally. And I got our weapon in like 60 pulls, so it only took about 100 pulls to get what I was wanting. All right. That's easy. You just get it. I want her in Thunder set. I do not have. I do have a crit damage thundering. Poggers. Let's look at our 3 stars. We have no electric damage up. Tragedy. That's what we're farming today. We have a few attack percents to roll through as well when we get to that state. Let's go shift. Okay, that's pretty good. Higher purpose. That's also kind of good. Okay. Okay. Whoops. All right, let's go here. Level her up.
For us undercover agents, fighting skills are just the bare minimum. The key to success is having an unbreakable will.
And what do I need to... Oh, From Mech Abomination. We're getting it from the Mech Abomination and not even the thing. Tragic. Let's go get these. They're leveled up first, and then we can work on getting her. Speaking of. That. Stars, which is fine. Cool. I had those just laying around. Shooting this guy in the head.
As you wish. Let's do this. Burn to ashes.
Evils be gone. Universe in my psyche.
Rude.
Misery follows.
$60 wave plates for 2. Ugh, it's so bad.
It's time.
I mean, I'm waiting for this to look back. Let's go synthesize these greens. Actually, I gotta level up her skill. I can't level up her skill. Let's synthesize these blues. Probably just gonna be spending some fuel on this as is anyway, so I need 7 actually. Well, I might as well. Great. Needed 8. Bro. Alright, now tune into crit damage or crit rate, please. But I have no tuning either. Okay. I'll take an additional 13.8% crit damage. Just ask for it, man. Sometimes it just be that way. Right. Tune into crit damage or crit rate, please. Alright, flat HP. Tragic. Flat attack, like the lowest roll flat attack too. Done. to the machine abomination. Kept shooting that guy in the face. Guy is waking up and I'm shooting him repeatedly with a pea shooter. Can't be happy about it. I was dodging.
Miscalculation. Inferno.
Oh, I was an alpha strike. You can't do that.
Please, as you wish. Let's do this in order. Silence.
Banish all vice.
Could have done me the courtesy of dropping a soul. Extremely rude. Okay. Just go back up here quick.
Good. That did make me stronger. Should I start thinking about how to repay you?
Alright, what do I need now? I need 3 more of those. 3 more runs of that is insane. In the meantime, I need... Actually, I need electro set 3 piece. I think I have one of those randomly. Where's it even at? Celestial Havoc, Void Thunder, Loudest, Firm. Oh, it's on set. Bigly. Hopefully those are always on set and not like the most obvious way to troll. I have a feeling it's the most obvious way to troll. Swap the pieces. Means if I do that new event, they smell. What are they? Stuff. All right, we do get a couple of these. I do that. HSR dailies may just be the dailies and off the events till next week, so I can do more of this. It's literally dodging, bro. This.
Let's do this.
This. can't just run away. It's so incredibly rude.
Unleash the fans.
Okay. 4-star. Okay. Crit rate. Attack percentage. That shit out of here. Okay. We're gonna need... It's 1 crystal solvent for each one of these. Oh, it's so tragic, dude. Insane how expensive it is just to get characters ascended. I have a Flautist. Next, Databank. Under Saurian. Bird. Or that's the young. Never mind, it's not the old. Really, it's Violet Feathered Heron. It's a terrible location for that. Rock man while I'm on the way. JK. Actually, JK. I never noticed this. Blown over it like 1,000 times. Just stay there? Where'd little bro go? Hey, you little rat. Back for you whenever you respawn.
Never mind.
I probably need more of those mushrooms to level her, don't I? Ugh. Tragedy. Throw my wave plates. My stamina.
As you wish. Burn to ashes. Let's do this in
Of course, I got the Scion feather. With arrow damage on the Spectro. Love it. Alright, did little bro return? I love that this guy's been awake for 2 seconds. And I just shoot him in the head repeatedly. Completely America coded. I hit the A button.
As you wish. Feel my wrath. Let's do this in
Universe in my psyche.
Target confirmed. Misery follows. 7.
Sure. We'll go here. Walk. Henceforth. Like I need this car for somebody.
As you wish.
Dang.
You're no match. Silence. Let's do this in
Bro. 50% drop chance. Wait, no, it's 20%. It's 50% or purple or gold. Sag. Still technically closest. Okay. On set. Never mind. It's purple.
As you wish. Feel my wrath. Let's do this in
She lasts evermore.
All right. Defense percentage. Excellent. This is the power of a perfect society. This is the world that liberals want.
Inferno.
Lucio Prism. HP Ice set. Doubtful. I'll save it.
Caught you. Summer.
Okay. Onset. Electro damage. Why? Why? My best Matthew McConaughey voice. Why? Why?
It's time.
Darn it. What clever. Inferno! Burn! Burn to ashes! Let's do this in love.
Embrace the oneness.
Wait. Discount. Oh. I did. I just need to go get some shrooms. Get hooked up. The lazy way out.
For us undercover agents, fighting skills are just the bare minimum. The key to success is having an unbreakable will.
Let's bump her up like 9. When the time comes, we can level her. Now, spend more wave plates, more fuel. Solo challenge.
Burn!
Bro, what are you doing over here? Come on. We'll need to at least do these.
Universe in my psyche.
I'm glad that one guy just, yeah, I don't need, I'll just stay over here, not get hit by the vortex. Cool. How many greens do I get? 7 per? Okay.
Fury boils. As you wish.
That's probably enough. Probably. What does she need for this? Less, of course. The green's out of the way. I'm gonna need one more run. Of course. Fantastic.
She lasts evermore.
How did those guys not get hit by that? That'll get her passives up. Yeah, that's her skill. probably still keep him. The outro skill damage. I just put Sanhua with her. There's a lot of basic attacking. Small window that you keep up.
So we're teaming up. Fine. You can trust me to keep you safe.
That. Absolutely zero healing. I guess I could just run Baija instead. It's just a guild characters also have their
May this journey bring us closer to the truth.
yeah. So that makes set up. His ultimate most basic she does. Her into support unit. This. Or I could do mono wind team. Interesting. Really 14 second Sanhua Sakura.
As always, I'm the one you need. I really
Effie,
can't win with you.
What will I learn
Her.
from this fight?
someone else that goes off of ultimate. So I could just do Spectro. Makes it easier to on more Taffy and just get out.
I will be there for everyone as we head toward our shared future, leaving the past behind.
Sense. And team. Yeah, we could do team 3 as the same.
Threat in your way.
What kind of story will Unkar hear today?
I don't really have a support.
I will do my best to help everyone.
And I don't really need regen thing.
Anything I can help you with?
You know, I'm not honestly against that. Just getting them low, swapping to Sanhua, breaking an encore. That's not bad. Litter? Painless. Start challenge. Yeah, this turns out. Especially since I do not remember this fight at all.
Commence healing. Such a nuisance. Verity shines. Tear them to pieces. Now you behave. Watch and learn. Good. There's no time. My field of expertise. Time to wrap it up.
Target confirmed. War spares no one. Exterminate.
Tear them to pieces. Pay for this. Pay it back tenfold. It's nothing. Stay vigilant.
Kinda rude.
Acceptable damage. Foolish.
Hey, I got a box. Actually make a craftable weapon. That's fine. Not later. Him leveled up. Her weapon leveled up. That should be fine. Okay. Let's deploy this so I can front them. Right, that. Both their weapons, and I level this guy up, and I in these. Also the thunder set, probably. Good. This. I get Encore's weapons leveled. All three of their weapons need to be leveled. I need to get him. Leveled as well. It's coming in days. I need to get him actual Pokemon relics. Good. Okay. How much whale dust did I get? The limiteds are up to 360. Wait. Other right there. Good. 8. I get the 40. I'm not gonna save these for 40. Just do them now. Electro on healing. Wow. Defense, energy regen, arrow on the Glacio. Fantastic. Fusion on lingering tune. That. Oh yeah, there was 11:40. Ramp up by 1 today. This is why I'm moving to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week. My Thursdays got way busier. So, how are we going to start doing Monday through Wednesdays from now on? I need to get my HSR stuff done. He's a lot. Yeah. So let's do alloy smelt later. Need to do some more SU. Yep. Swap to. Swap the Honkai. Swap the Honkai and go get a cup of coffee. Crippling addiction. Alright, change category. Stop. L. Category didn't change. Good one, OBS. Oh, plan on putting off Galactic Baseballer until next time. My dailies and be done with it. When is Garden of Plenty? Tomorrow? Okay. Real question then is, if I hit teleport, does it? Oh, it's still there. Wow. Hate the red exclamation point. Hate it. What do I need? Tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, we just go do... We get our Firefly material. That's just what we worry about now. We hit that. We... put this on auto. Alright, go get a cup of coffee.
All will be swept away by the wind.
Lend me your strength.
So devils.
So,
Crush them all. Protect all beauty. Protect all beauty.
To guard and defend. Crush them.
Protect all beauty. Protect all beauty.
Lend me your strength.
Beauty is eternal. Protect all beauty. Protect all beauty.
Existence is unity. All will be swept away by the wind.
Beauty is eternal. Protect all beauty.
To guard and defend. Crush them.
Lifted and fleet. Protect all beauty.
Alright. Do this.
Lend me
Now
your
we
strength.
go back to the secret.
Devils. I'll crush them all. Protect all beauty.
Hey.
Lifted and fleet.
To guard and defend. Crush them.
Protect all beauty.
Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here. Welcome to my
Protect all beauty.
overview on all of the Monk updates coming to 14 in Dawn Trail. I was recently given the opportunity to try the expansion out early at the North American Media Tour. That includes checking out all the job changes. So be sure to look at all of those other changes in the playlist in the description of the video when you're done with this one. Quick disclaimer, reminder that all of this is still in development, so all the potencies, effects, everything, still subject to change. So don't be surprised if anything's different come the release of Dawn Trail. Now, Monk's been kind of reworked in Dawn Trail. Functionally, it will still feel quite similar to what you were doing before, but the effects of many abilities have changed, and the flow of your combos will be somewhat altered because of this. Twin Snakes no longer gives you a damage buff, and Demolish no longer applies a dot. Instead, you have a new Fury gauge. Upon using Dragon Kick, Twin Snakes, and Demolish, you generate 1 stack of Opos Fury, 2 stacks of Raptor's Fury, and 3 stacks of Coeurl's Fury, respectively. These buffs cause their stance-associated counterparts to become stronger, Bootshine, True Strike, and Snap Punch, respectively. Each use of an empowered skill consumes 1 Fury from its respective stance, so Bootshine would consume 1 Opos Fury, True Strike 1 Raptor's Fury, and Snap Punch 1 Coeurl's Fury. This means you only use Dragon Kick once every other rotation, Twin Snakes once every 3 rotations, and Demolish once every 4 rotations, just to refresh your Fury gauge. It's a fairly simple process to follow once you get used to it, and will still somewhat resemble the old buff maintenance rotation close enough, just without any timers. The Fury gauge also has no interaction with your AoE at all, so you'll just be AoEing like normal during dungeons and whatnot. And with all the buff maintenance gone, it is finally time we bid farewell to Anatman, can't say that you'll be missed, pal.
Oh my god, it's
Now,
not on the
several other
bar.
skills have also been reworked. Six-Sided Star's potency now scales with the number of chakras you have, with 80 potency per chakra. While I'm sure some people might be thinking, oh, I should use that as a finisher during my buffs, the intent definitely seems to be to simply make it easier to dump gauge before a downtime phase or right before a monster dies. Speaking of chakra, Brotherhood now allows you to generate up to 10 chakras while it is active, helping
So
with the
good.
major overcapping problem monks have during their burst. These bonus chakras do work on Six-Sided Star as well, but again, I think that the math works out in such a way that you don't want to use Six-Sided Star during burst. Remember, it does have that long recast time after the fact. If a fight ends in the middle of a 2-minute window, though, it can burn these extras. Now, Brotherhood also lasts 20 seconds now, up from 15 in Endwalker, giving you a couple of more buff GCDs, and that's going to be important when you hit level 100. On the chakra front again, meditation now changes to enlightened meditation after you unlock enlightenment. It's not a functional change in any way, but figured I'd mention it. Finally, for existing skill reworks, Riddle of Earth has been given a bonus effect. It still grants damage reduction and still gives you Earth's Resolve upon being hit, granting you the regen you're used to. However, Riddle of Earth now also grants Earth's Rumination for 30 seconds after you've been hit. This changes the button into Earth's Reply, an AoE heal.
What?
It's 300 potency normally, but if you're under the effect of that regen in Earth's Resolve, the potency is bumped up to 500. Yes.
What?
Monk just got an AoE heal. I'm
Monk's an AoE
so
healer?
sorry, Dragoons. Now, for post-level 90 stuff, it gets a lot simpler to talk about. First are some pretty standard changes that most of the melee got from 90 to 100. At level 94, you get Enhanced Second Wind, bumping the potency up to 800. You also get Melee Mastery 2 at that level, upping the potency of your Fury Generating combo. Then at level 98, you get Enhanced Feint, increasing the debuff's duration to 15 seconds. The rest of the updates add new animations or follow-ups to existing skills. At level 92, they get Beast Chakra Mastery, updating your Fury-empowered skills, and Elixir Field to new versions. Boot Shine becomes Leaping Oppo, True Strike becomes Rising Raptor, Snap Punch becomes Pouncing Coewhirl, and Elixir Field becomes Elixir Burst. Same effects, just new animations and higher potencies. At level 96, you get Enhanced Riddle of Wind. This causes Riddle of Wind to grant the Wind's Rumination buff for 30 seconds after use. The ability then transforms into Wind's Reply, a 900 potency line AoE with no falloff. Wind's Reply is also a GCD skill, so it's going to eat some of your buff window GCD real estate, which we'll talk about in a little bit. However, since the buff lasts 30 seconds, meaning you have 30 seconds before you shoot this AoE, I'm guessing that if you use Riddle of Wind at the 90-second mark, which would be 30 seconds before buffs, then you could save it for the buff window. You know, you could delay Riddle of Wind just a little bit each time, and then you would actually have it going into buffs. Actually, just from the activation of when you activate it in the opener, you might be able to swing that. So that might be the play, is that even when you access Riddle of Wind on off buffs, you still get the big nuke during buffs. So that's kind of cool. At level 100, you get a similar update with Enhanced Riddle of Fire. This grants Fire's Rumination for 30 seconds, which allows access to Fire's Reply. This is a 1300 potency line AoE with a 50% fall off after the first target. It also grants Formless Fist after the activation, so you can go into whatever stance you want to afterwards. This is also a GCD skill, so that's 2 new GCDs you need to fit into buffs. Now, for my thoughts, I'm a monk lover. I played the job on and off literally since its inception. Heck, my original artwork for the channel included me as a monk. I think the update to the buff management feels okay here. The general flow of the job is still similar, and the new animations are really good. The quality of life on things like Brotherhood, getting an AoE heal with Earth's Reply, and Anatman finally being gone, are all solid changes and additions, on top of some of the other stuff we talked about. However, I don't yet know how I feel about Wind and Fire's Reply being GCDs in particular. On one hand, I do think it gives a bit more direction to the burst window. Since the buff window is pretty much a universal 20 seconds across most jobs now, Monk has a little bit of time to throw these in at the end, after their usual blitz shenanigans. I mean, Fire's Reply granting Formless Fist pretty much informs you that it wants you to be doing just that. There's also kind of filling the void of that final Demolish reactivation from the old rotation, and I guess also the Twin Snakes reapplication as well. Them being GCDs also leaves room open to track your forbidden chakras more efficiently. You know, they don't want to give you 2 more OGCDs while you're worrying about chakras, even with the overcapping that's now available. it just kind of feels weird. You know, like when I was using it, like a common sense told me, oh yeah, those would be OGCDs because the skills that activated them were OGCDs. But across other jobs, they do something pretty similar here in Dawn Trail. So it wasn't really that surprising. I think it was really just, I didn't spend a lot of time. You know, I had a lot to do and I only had several hours to do it at the media tour. So I never really took the time to get engaged with it, really get a feel for it. Heck, I was fighting with the latency that we had most of the time, and Monk being the fast job it is, that was scaring me more than anything. But I'm mostly curious about how the Wind's Reply bit, where you use it outside of buffs, but then you get to use the nuke inside of buffs, how that actually affects your 2-minute window whenever it's like, so at the 2-minute mark, you know, you would have used Riddle of Wind 30 seconds earlier, which means you'd have Wind's Reply. How does that affect the 2-minute buff versus the 0-minute versus the 3-minute versus the 4? Like, I'm just trying to think about how all of that lines up now, because that's really the only thing that I would need to sit down and really think about. But I've got a ton of videos still to crank out, so I'm gonna let the Monk experts start doing that work while I get just all the information out to all of you. Anyway, that is going to be a wrap for my video on the Monk changes coming in Dawn Trail. Be sure to like and subscribe, and be sure to check out all those other videos in the playlist in the description. I will see all of you in the next one, and until then, take care. Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and welcome to my overview on all of the Astrologian updates coming to Final Fantasy XIV in Dawn Trail. I was recently given the opportunity to try the expansion out early, including checking out all the job changes, so be sure to take a look at all of the other job change videos when you're done with this one. Now, disclaimer and reminder that Dawn Trail is still in development and is still subject to changes, so don't be surprised if some of the stuff you see here is not the same when you get into early access. Now, since Astro's card system is entirely new in Dawn Trail, we should cover the simpler changes and additions first before discussing that. However, know that with the cards being different, that Astrodyne and that seal system are entirely gone. So if you didn't like it, it's good news for you. The other core spells and abilities are pretty much exactly the same up to level 90, at which point Astro gets some traits that upgrade existing skills and add some new ones. And yes, Star is still in. I know some people were worried not seeing it in the live letter. Don't worry, it's there. At level 94, Fall Malefic and Combust get a small potency boost from the Magic Mastery trait, something that's pretty standard amongst the healers in Dawn Trail. At level 96, Aspected Helios gets a mastery trait that upgrades it to Helios Conjunction. Seems it just has a slightly stronger regen than Aspected Helios and a fancy new animation. And at level 98, Essential Dignity gets a 3rd charge. I didn't think it needed a 3rd charge, but hey, you won't find me complaining. I love Essential Dignity. And of course, like all the casters and healers in Dawn Trail, Swift Cast now only has a 40-second cooldown after level 94 as well. The remaining new non-card skills in Dawn Trail are follow-up attacks to existing skills. At level 92, you get a trait for Divination that causes it to grant the Divining buff for 30 seconds. This grants access to Oracle, a 600 potency AoE nuke with no fall-off damage. Of course, you're going to be looking to fit this inside of you and your team's buff windows for maximum efficacy. Neutral Sect also gets a follow-up at level 100. The trait at that level causes Neutral Sect to grant the Sun-Touched buff for 30 seconds, which allows you to use the ability Sun Sign a single time. This grants a 10% damage reduction on yourself and nearby allies for 15 seconds. Since Sun Touch lasts 30 seconds, you can either stack it with your Neutral Sect shields or save it until your sect goes down, whatever works best for the fight you're doing. Alright, now for the new card system. Old draw, redraw, undraw, they're all gone, and in their place is all new stuff. At level 30, Astrologian learns Astral and Umbral Draw. Using Astral or Umbral Draw, we'll pull 3 as well, and we'll alternate which draw you perform next every. They share a button as well, and will your MP. They share a button as well, and will alternate which draw you perform next every time you use the skill. So you'll use Astral Draw, you'll get all the cards, you'll wait a minute, and then it will be Umbral Draw, and then Astral, etc., etc. Astral and Umbral Draw always pull the same 3 cards, so there's no more card RNG at all. For Astral Draw, you will always pull the Balance, the Arrow, and the Spire. The Balance has the same effect as Endwalker, increasing the target's damage by 6% if melee or tank, and 3% if ranged or healer. The arrow increases HP recovered via healing actions by 10% for 15 seconds, making it a nice healing cooldown for you or your co-healer. I like the idea of playing it on the shield healer in your party in order to get bigger shields for a mechanic that's coming up. And the Spire puts a 400 potency barrier on the target for 30 seconds. For Umbral Draw, you will always pull the Spear, the Bowl, and the Ewer.
Is it range?
The Spear is the inverse of the balance, so 6% for range and healer and 3% for melee and
I don't
tank.
understand it.
The Bowl reduces damage taken on the target by 10% for 15 seconds, like it used to
That's
way
the old
back
Bowl
when.
ability.
And the Ewer gives the target player a 200 potency regen for 15 seconds. Now, after level 70, each of these draws will also pull a minor arcana. And again, there's no RNG on this anymore. Astral Draw will always pull the Lord of Crowns, a 400 potency AoE damage card, and Umbral Draw will always pull the Lady of Crowns, a 400 potency AoE heal. And to top it all off, you begin instances and respawns with Astral Draw automatically loaded into your deck. On one hand, this is nice because it means you don't need to think about any pre-pull draw shenanigans. You know, pull one, wait a few seconds, then start the countdown. That kind of thing is gone. On the other hand, the cards are actually playable out of combat in the build that I played. And so our Astro is going to throw out all of their utility cards pre-pull, then use the balance and then play the Lord, and then immediately draw Umbral and play the Spear so they have 2 damage cards during buffs.
Yeah,
it seems like that's going to be what actually happens if the cards work exactly the same as they did in Mediator. So your opener might still be busy if that was something that you liked as Astro, but I don't know if that's how it's going to turn out. That's just a little bit of speculation based on how it seems to be done in the Mediator. So this new card system is kind of a merger of the old card system from expansions past and something new entirely. There's a lot more unique card effects again instead of everything just being a damage card. And with no RNG, the cards can be more properly balanced, and if they maybe want to change one of the effects in a later expansion, they totally can. However, some people did enjoy the RNG and on-the-fly card plays, so this was never going to please everyone. Hopefully, longtime Astros enjoy this new system and more proper planning around card availability. And other than the cards, Astro's kit still looks insanely strong. I've always felt like there's been a big disparity between what an Astrologian was capable of and what its co-pure healer, the White Mage, was capable of. That honestly feels even more so now. Yeah, White Mage got some new stuff. It'll probably be a personal DPS powerhouse, and it's got some more utility than it had before, especially in the movement category. But Astro literally got so much new utility and even a bit more damage. I mean, Nocturnal Sect having this AoE damage mitt follow-up, a healing buff that you can give to yourself or your shield buddy, tank mitt, like, it's just kind of insane. And then you have an extra Essential Dignity on top of it all. Who cares about the extra Tetra White Mage got? You got 3 Essential Dignities now. You're still one-upping them. So honestly, if you like this new card system, or at the very least don't mind it, it looks like Astro's eating really, really good this expansion. Only time will tell. Only the pro Astros will be able to give you the full lowdown on that. But my first impressions are, oh boy, it's going to be fun. Anyway, that's going to be a wrap for my overview on the changes coming to Astrologian in Dawn Trail. Thanks again to Square Enix for letting me try this out in the Mediator, and disclaimer again that some of the stuff may change before early access. Only time. Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and welcome to my overview on all of the White Mage updates coming to Final Fantasy XIV in Dawn Trail. I was recently given the opportunity to try the expansion out early at the North American Media Tour, including checking out all the job changes. Be sure to take a look at all the job change videos I'll be putting out alongside this one when you're done checking out White Mage. Of course, bit of housekeeping, reminder that Dawn Trail is still in development and is still subject to changes, so don't be surprised if some of these bits are different come early access, especially potencies, which are always getting tweaked. Now, White Mage is almost entirely the same as it was in Endwalker, for better or worse. Almost every single spell and potency that it had before is still in the game and still exactly the same up to level 90. From level 91 to 100, however, some do undergo some changes or upgrades. The White Magic Mastery trait at level 94 increases the potencies of Dia, Glare, and Afflatus Misery, while another trait at level 94 reduces Swiftcast's cooldown to 40 seconds, which we learned about during the live letter. Tetragrammaton also gains a second charge at level 98 via trait as well, giving White Mage a bit better of a time with their off-global healing capacity. Medica 2 also undergoes an upgrade at level 96 to Medica 3. Its function is entirely the same, it just now rocks a new animation and higher potencies, as to be expected. Then we get into the new stuff. White Mage actually gets a new skill at level 40 called Ethereal Shift. This allows them to dash forward 15 yalms on just a 1-minute cooldown. This helps with mobility a lot, so I'm willing to bet White Mages are going to have a field day with this. Also really glad that it is a low-level skill. I know some of you are looking at things like Unending Coil at level 70 and thinking, you know what, this will be pretty nice to have. Speaking of mobility, Presence of Mind also gets a new trait at level 92. This causes using the ability to grant 3 stacks of Sacred Sight for 30 seconds. This grants access to Glare 4, an instant cast AoE GCD for 570 potency. That's a big upgrade over Glare 3. This grants 3 GCDs worth of mobility, which could be very important when attacking during the buff windows. The increased cast speed from Presence of Mind makes these stacks disappear very quickly, but hey, it's a nice addition to their 2-minute window. Finally, at level 100, you'll get a new trait for Temperance. Using your White Mage wings at max level will grant you a buff called Divine Grace for 30 seconds. This grants you access to the Divine Caress ability, an off-global AoE 400 potency barrier for you and your teammates. Not only that, but once the barrier fades, everyone gets a 200 potency regen for 15
why are we giving
seconds.
pure healers
It will
shields
consume
again?
Divine Grace, of
We were
course,
moving
when you
away from
actually
that.
use it, but this extra shield should be handy, especially if used in the 10-second window after Temperance itself actually wears off. Gives you a little bit of buffer space for it. And those are all of the White Mage changes coming to Dawntrail. Not a whole lot. It's going to feel like a very similar job. So if you enjoyed it in Endwalker, you'll probably enjoy it in Dawntrail. Their goal seems to have just been to enhance parts of the job that it's already known for. You know, there's a few boosted potencies, an extra off-global heal, and finally giving it some form of AoE barrier. Glare 4 is nice since its potency is a huge step up from Glare 3 during buffs, as well as the instant cast to help with mobility during one of the most important times. I will say, however, that I think some things on the job might be better off being less tied to other big cooldowns. Divine Caress being so infrequent and being tied to using another defensive buff itself, I don't know, it's just not as flexible as I'd personally like it to be. If anything, if they really want to keep it tied to Temperance, I kind of just wish the Divine Grace buff was permanent after you use the skill, until you actually use Divine Caress, of course, instead of either just piling it right on top during Temperance or using it in just that short window after. Or just make it its own skill. You know, I'd prefer either of those things instead of it being a follow-up. That being said, White Mage players who truly enjoy the job fantasy, high personal damage, and improved job fundamentals with Dawntrail should feel like they're eating all right. But that's going to be a wrap for my video on White Mage in Dawntrail. Again, be sure to check out all the other videos. There is a playlist in the description of this video to check it all out. And trust me, you won't have any trouble finding it on my channel today. So thanks for watching. I'll see all of you.
Sage.
Hey everyone,
Healers.
Mr. Happy here, and welcome to my overview on all of the Sage updates coming to Final Fantasy XIV in Dawntrail. I was recently given the opportunity to try the expansion out at the North American Media Tour, and that includes checking out all the job changes. So after you're done watching this video, be sure to go check out the 20 other videos that I'll have posted at about the same time. Just a quick reminder though, Dawntrail is still in development and is still subject to changes, so anything you see here, it could still change by the time early access rolls around, so don't take this as how it will absolutely be. So Sage doesn't have a whole lot of changes, but the few updates it does have are notable. Before level 90, the only new thing the job has is Eucrasian Dyscrasia. You get this Eucrasian upgrade to the AoE at level 82, and it is a point-blank AoE dot. But the big question on every healer's mind, though, does the dot stack with Eucrasian Dosis? And as of the Media Tour, yes, it does. Eucrasian Dyscrasia and Eucrasian Dosis make it the return
Sage is
of
the
the
best class in
double
the
dot
game.
healer.
Best healer.
The potency is also 40 per tick for 30 seconds, a total of 400 potency. This does make it a slight gain over Dosis 3 in the build that I played. Seems like Sage might be the go-to for players missing that extra dot from expansions past, at least if the potency stays higher. Who knows if they're going to want this to be the norm.
Rash.
After level 90, the updates to existing skills are minimal at best.
Are you kidding me?
At level 94, Sage gets 3 traits. Magic Mastery, which just buffs Dosis's potency to 360, still 40 under Eucrasian Dyscrasia. Enhanced Soteria lowers that ability's cooldown to 60 seconds, down from 90, and the Swift Cast trait lowers that ability's cooldown to 40 seconds, like all the other casters have as well. At level 96, Sage gets Eucrasian Prognosis Mastery, upgrading the ability to Eucrasian Prognosis 2. The potency stays the same, but it upgrades your AoE shield with a fancy new animation and bumps the barrier up from 320% to 360%. At level 98, they get Enhanced Physis 2, which specifically buffs the duration of the healing buff that players receive from Physis 2 to 15 seconds. The regen was already 15 seconds, so now both of the buffs just match. As for new skills at level 90 plus, Sage has two major ones. The first new ability they learn at level 92 is Psyche. This is an off-global AoE nuke that you can use once a minute that does 600 potency on the first target with a 50% fall off. Legit, just an extra bit of off-global DPS to gain every minute, so make use of it. And at level 100, they get Philosophia. This 3-minute cooldown ability grants the Sage a 20% buff to their healing magic potency for 20 seconds. It also grants you and all nearby party members the Eudaimonia buff, which basically acts as a temporary sort of Cardia to everyone affected. Every spell landed for the duration will heal all affected allies for 150 potency. But the big difference here is that this isn't just offensive spells, it's any spell. So even things like Eucrasian Prognosis will proc the heal from Philosophia. This means that so long as you are always casting for the duration, you're 100% getting the maximum effectiveness out of the healing portion. And it does stack with Cardia's heal as well, so your linked target will be getting a big boost of health with any offensive spells you actually cast. So while Sage hasn't changed much, the changes it did get are kind of exciting. If the double dot thing stays, I know plenty of people who will gravitate towards it in Dawn Trail, on top of having an extra nuke every minute, and that super flexible healing buff window, which will both enhance when you need to spam heals, or if you just don't need to, you still get that AoE healing potency, which just gives it a lot better use. It's literally the same job with a few extra widgets thrown in. And given it was my favorite healer throughout Endwalker, I have a feeling I'll be playing it plenty when Dawn Trail comes. But that's going to be a wrap for my overview on Sage in Dawn Trail. Be sure to like and subscribe and check out all the other Media Tour videos. There should be a link to a playlist in the description, and plus, they won't be hard to find on my channel today. Trust me. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and welcome to my overview on all of the Scholar updates coming to Final Fantasy XIV in Dawn Trail. I was once again barely changed at all coming into Dawn Trail. They even left Energy Drain in for once. The only notable change to any pre-Dawn Trail skill is Change Stratagem, which now lasts for 20 seconds instead of 15 seconds. Hey, that's 5 more seconds of crits. Let's go. After level 90, a few spells get upgraded potencies or effects. At level 94, you get Tactician's Mastery, a trait that increases the potency of Biolysis and Boil Force slightly. At level 96, you get Succor Mastery, which upgrades Succor to Consultation. It's basically the same spell and function, and it has the same base potency, but it now provides 180% of the healing as a barrier instead of the 160% that Succor had. So, small AoE barrier upgrade. At level 98, Scholar gets Enhanced Recitation, which lowers the cooldown by half a minute, down to only 60 seconds. And of course, they get the Swift Cast trait at level 94, like all the other casters are getting, that lowers that ability's cooldown to 40 seconds. Now at level 92, Scholar gets Enhanced Chain Stratagem, which will give them access to their first brand new skill. Upon using Chain, the Scholar will gain a buff called Impact Imminent for 30 seconds. This allows them to use the follow-up ability, Baneful Impaction, inflicting an AoE dot that deals 140 potency per tick for 15 seconds. That's fine, I guess. Honestly, when I used it, I had to double check to see if I even did use it, because I didn't really think the skill felt that good to use personally. But I guess I can't complain about another damaging off global during buffs, and that's what it is. And at level 100, Scholar learns Seraphism. This transforms the Scholar's appearance and grants them several beneficial effects for 20 seconds. First, while in Seraphism, you will gradually restore the HP of allies within 50 yalms, healing them for 100 potency per tick. Second, it transforms Eloquium into Manifestation and Consultation into Accession. increasing their spell potencies and making them instant cast for the entire duration. Yep, that's right. Instant cast, buff shields for a whole 20 seconds. I hope your MP can handle all of that though. Finally, it resets Emergency Tactics cooldown immediately and causes its recast to only be 1 second for the duration. So if need be, you can Emergency Tactics any and all heals during Seraphism. Great for making the skill flexible, both for healing and shielding intensive phases, or both at the same time. Again, so long as your mana can actually handle it. The only sort of caveat to this skill is that you can't use Dissipation while you are in Seraphism. While this means no doubling down on extra ether flows during this, it also means that your fairy is still there assisting you throughout all of Seraphism's duration, so Scholar is an absolute healing powerhouse during this skill. Oh, and in my excitement, I almost forgot to mention that it has a 3-minute cooldown, so you'll be a healing powerhouse, just not all that often. Basically, Scholar is the exact same job with some flashy new skills. Honestly, this has kind of been Scholar's MO with every single expansion. It's not that it hasn't gotten updates or improvements. Oh, it's gotten them in spades. And a lot of the times, players have laughed at previous upgrades until they've gotten their hands on the chop. And then they've realized, wait, this is really good. I mean, look at Expedient from last expansion. Everyone laughed at it when we saw it in the trailer, when we were told about it. Then as soon as more information came out, they were like, this is the greatest skill of all time. And then we made all of our friends accidentally run off the side of the raid arena because they didn't know they were getting it about that time. Sorry about that. But Scholar is almost always, if not the least changed job, one of the least changed jobs in any expansion, on an expansion to an expansion basis. I suppose it's the tried and true example of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just tune it up here and there. Just, again, glad to see they left Energy Drain there for one. But that's going to be a wrap for my overview on all of the updates to Scholar coming in Dawn Trail. Thanks again to Square Enix for bringing me out. Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and welcome to my overview on all of the Red Mage updates coming to Final Fantasy XIV in Dawn Trail. Red Mage is nearly identical to its Endwalker version, but with some quality of life and small additions. It does get some nice pre-90 changes as well that you'll just log in and see that you have. Jolt 2 is now upgraded to Jolt 3 at level 84, just with more potency and a fancy new animation. Its other two pre-90 changes are much more significant. Manification no longer grants 50 black and white mana. Instead, it grants 3 stacks of magic swordplay, which allows you to freely use 3 of your enchanted sword skills. Basically, it's a free melee combo, whether it be single target or AoE, and will prevent mana overcapping when the skill is used. Speaking of melee combo, the Enchanted Moulinet skill has also been updated. It is now a 3-part combo, going from Moulinet into Moulinet 2 into Moulinet 3. The potency gradually scales up with each hit, only going up by 10 each hit, but that does matter. Most importantly, though, this combo string is now only 50 black and white mana.
No,
finally in line with the melee combo after
usually
being
not like
60
choice.
mana for far too long. After level 90, they get some pretty standard changes that are shared with the other casters. Enhanced Swift Cast at level 94 lowers its cooldown to 40
It tends
seconds
to
down
be
to
that
60.
the people that I
You
play
also
with
get
don't want to play
Enchanted
Fizz
Blade
range,
Mastery
and
at the
I
same
like
level,
Bard.
buffing almost every Red Mage spell
So,
minus their AoEs, not
this
just
is
the
definitely
Enchanted
Bard.
Sword combo despite the trait name. Finally, you get Enhanced Addle at level 98, increasing the duration of the debuff to 15 seconds. Their new abilities after level 90 mostly add off globals to their buff windows and some movement quality of life. At level 92, they get Enhanced Embolden, granting the Thorned Flourish buff when using Embolden
I
for
get to
30
be
seconds. This changes the button into Vice of
D-Gen,
Thorns, a 520 potency
D-Gen Fizz
AoE
range.
off global with a 60%
I have no
fall
brain
off.
cells.
Simple
and I
enough,
just
you'll
run
throw
around
that
at the
into
edge of the
burst
screen
windows most of the
outside
time.
of heal range.
At level 96, you get Enhanced Acceleration 2, which causes the ability to grant the buff Grand Impact Ready for 30 seconds. This transforms both Jolt 3 and Impact into Grand Impact, an instant cast AoE that deals 540 potency with a 60% fall off. It also generates 3 mana, making it a 1-point mana gain over Jolt in particular. It more importantly allows Acceleration to grant 2 spells of instant movement instead of 1, since you still do get its original effect. This also gives you more potency and should just make your life easier. Finally, at level 100, you get Enhanced Manification 3. Upon spending all 6 stacks of the Manification
Who do you
buff,
play?
you'll be granted Cineration
What's your job
ready.
of choice, I
This
guess?
changes Manification into Cineration, a 620 potency off-global AoE with a 60% fall off. Yet another off-global to add into your buff window right after you finish that 6-part melee and spell combo. So all in all, Red Mage got some added mobility, quality of life on mana management, and some bonus off-globals during burst. This preserves the job for the people who like it and gives them a bit more to do during their burst windows that they were already familiar with. These should feel really nice to enthusiasts, and not just at the highest experience level, for people at all experience levels with the job, and for anyone picking it up to, spam raids and whatever content they're doing at the time. But that's going to be a wrap for my overview on the Red Mage changes coming in Dawntrail. Be sure to like and subscribe and check out all those other videos. Again, there is a playlist.
Reaper didn't look like it was getting too much. Where is it?
Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and welcome to my overview on all of the
Mr.
Reaper
Happy here.
updates coming to 14 in Dawntrail. I was recently given the opportunity. Reaper is nearly identical to its Endwalker equivalent, just with some quality of life and follow-ups to
take a
existing
gander.
skills. Now, level 90 and under did get some notable changes for the job. First off, Hell's Ingress and Egress now provide Harp with another bonus effect, on top of what it was already doing before. The buffed Harp is not only instant cast, but also reduces the cooldown of Ingress or Egress by 5 seconds. Makes for a decent mobility bonus. Harp itself also got a small update and now also provides 10 soul gauge per use.
Okay.
This should make it more usable, especially when paired with the buff from Egress and Ingress. Its potency is still the same, however. Lastly, for the 90 and under changes, Plentiful Harvest now no longer grants 50 Shroud gauge. Instead, it provides the buff Ideal Host for 30 seconds. This allows you 1 free use of Enshrouded, so you just can't overcap with the skill anymore. For post-90 skills, Reaper has a few changes that are pretty standard across all the melee. At level 94, you get Enhanced Second Wind, bumping the potency up to 800. You also get Melee Mastery 3 at that level, coming with a ton of potency updates. I mean, look at it. I'm not going to repeat all that. Then at level 98, you get Enhanced Feint, increasing the debuff's duration to 15 seconds. As for the new stuff, it's mostly bonus attacks during big buffs, accoutrements to Enshroud, if you will. At level 92, you get Enhanced Enshroud, causing Enshroud to grant Oblatio for 30 seconds. This changes your Gluttony button into Sacrificium, if that's even how you say that, a 500 potency AoE off-global with a 50% fall-off. It must be used before the end of your Enshrouded effect, so weave it during one of the off-globals you aren't using Lemure Slice on. At level 96, Reaper gets Enhanced Gluttony. This causes Gluttony to provide the Executioner buff for 30 seconds. This transforms Gibbet, Gallows, and Guillotine into Executioner variants. New animation, more damage, but same skills you know and love today. Finally, at level 100, Reaper gets Enhanced Plentiful Harvest. This causes the attack to grant you Perfectio Occulta for 30 seconds. Now on its own, this buff does nothing, but if you use Communio while under the effect of Perfectio Occulta, it changes to Perfectio Parata. This changes your Communio button into Perfectio, a 1200 potency AoE GCD with a 60% fall off. It must be executed before re-entering Enshroud or it will be lost. So ideally, use it right after Communio, especially if you plan on enshrouding multiple times back to back. And that's all there is to Reaper. I'll admit I'm not a huge fan of Shadow of Death being pretty much the same, but it's not that big of a deal. For the most part, your Enshrouded windows just got a slight bit busier, especially during burst.
Which is fine.
And with the 10 gauge and cooldown
Reaper was
reduction on
in a good
Enhanced
spot.
Harp after Egress and Ingress,
It's
that
melee
might be a
machinist.
move more valuable than it was before when you portal away. All in all, I think you'll be comfortable with the job if you were before, with a bit more quality of life and some big new attacks. But that's going to be a wrap for my video on Reaper. Be sure to like and subscribe. Check out all my other Dawntrail job change videos. And with that, I'll see you in the next one.
All right. Let's look at Gunbreaker.
Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and welcome to my
Astro
overview.
has always been in a really odd spot, right? Like, because most of the time the cards are they're just shit. Just they're either uninteresting, but they give you the damage buffs, or they're interesting, but are completely useless unless you get the damage buff. So, like, I understand why they've had so much trouble with it. I think the current incarnation of it, going into Dawntrail, is probably the best version because it's You're not really. It's more about making choice. This does give you choice. I don't think RNG being tied to like survivability or damage buffs is very good though. So I don't know how to fix it. I don't know how I would fix it. But yeah. It is something.
On all of the Gunbreaker updates coming to Final Fantasy XIV in Dawntrail, I was recently given the opportunity. Gunbreaker's changes on the surface all seem pretty basic, but they may have a significant effect on some of the more clunky elements the job had in Endwalker. First off, for changes to existing skills level 90 and below, there's a couple of important ones. First off, Rough Divide is gone, replaced with Trajectory. This is a no damage gap closer now, so no more weaving it during burst windows, just gap closing when need be. Should make actually pressing your defensives during 2-minute windows a little more manageable. Second, Sonic Break is now a follow-up skill to No Mercy. Upon using No Mercy, you'll receive the Ready to Break buff for 30 seconds, transforming the skill into Sonic Break until it's used. Still basically aiming to use it the same way as before, but at least I had to let you know. After level 90, Gunbreaker gets a bunch of changes that are kind of similar across all the tanks. One of the most significant ones is the level 92 trait, Nebula Mastery. This transforms Nebula into Great Nebula, increasing the damage reduction to 40% and raising the player's HP by 20% while healing for the same amount for 15 seconds. That's a nice little bonus to an already beefy defensive cooldown. The remaining upgrades are pretty much the same across all the tanks. Enhanced Rampart adds a 15% healing received buff to the skill. Melee Mastery raises the potency of almost all the Gunbreaker's attacks, minus Sonic Break, their AoEs, and their brand new skills, and Enhanced Reprisal increases the duration of the debuff to 15 seconds. Their new skills are just follow-ups or additions to existing ones. At level 96, they get Enhanced Continuation, adding a continuation follow-up to Faded Circle. Upon pressing the skill, Continuation will change into Faded Brand, a 120 potency AoE. It's just a little bonus to their AoE rotation, nothing else. At level 100, they get Enhanced Bloodfest. Bloodfest now grants the Ready to Rain buff for 30 seconds, transforming the button into Rain of Beasts. This is a 3-part AoE combo that packs a serious punch. The combo goes Rain of Beasts into Noble Blood into Lionheart. The potency gradually increases with each skill in the combo, though all 3 parts have a 60% fall off after the first target. Now, these changes all seem simple like most of the other tank changes, but the Rain of Beast combo and removal of Rough Divide might make their burst window feel a bit more manageable. Many Gunbreakers claim that their burst window was too rigid throughout Endwalker, and while you're likely to still want a very specific lead up to your 2-minute buffs, you'll almost always be committing one Gnashing Fang, your Double Down, and the Rain of Beast combo, instead of stressing about fitting in all those burst strikes. You'll also have a bit of an easier time actually using defensive cooldowns during those 2-minute windows. So on the surface, it looks like an overall win for the job. I'm not a Gunbreaker main though, so I'll be leaving it up to them to figure out if there's any weirdness that comes with some of these changes. Only time will tell. That's going to be a wrap for my overview to the changes coming to Gunbreaker in Dawntrail. Be sure to like, subscribe, and check out all of my other job change videos, as well as some other stuff. There's some interviews in there, some dungeon stuff. I think you'll... Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and welcome to my overview on all of the Warrior updates coming to round. Warrior is almost the exact same job, but with more swinging of the axe. Before level 90, the only notable changes are a reduction in potency to Mithril Tempest and Decimate, likely to offset the new AoE skills they have later on. They also got an animation update to Inner Chaos, but the skill is still identical in function and potency. After level 90, they get a ton of updates to existing skills that are similar-ish across all the tanks. Level 92, they get Vengeance Mastery, updating the skill to Damnation. It now gives 40% damage reduction instead of 30, and also grants a 400 potency regen for 15 seconds. What? Because, you know, Warrior needed even more healing. At level 94, they get Enhanced Rampart, now granting a 15% increase to healing received for its duration. They also get Melee Mastery at that level, which just increases the potency of most of their single target skills outside of Inner Release and
I wonder
Infuriate
what
exclusive
Xeno has
buttons.
to say about
And at level 98,
Warrior.
they learn Enhanced Reprisal, which will extend the duration of the debuff to
Warrior
15
guy.
seconds. As for new skills, they basically got 2 enhancements to their Inner Release window. At level 96, they get Enhanced Inner Release. This causes every Fellcleave and Decimate within Inner Release to grant stacks of Burgeoning Fury. At 3 stacks, the buff changes to Wrathful, and the Inner Release button is replaced by Primal Wrath for 30 seconds or until the ability is used. Primal Wrath itself is an off-global AoE that deals 600 potency worth of damage with a 70% fall off. What else is there to say? You swing your axe 3 times and then you use this. You can maybe save it for a multi-target phase if it's coming up in the next 30 seconds, but otherwise, just go, go, go. At level 100, they get Enhanced Primal Rend. This causes Primal Rend to grant Primal Ruination ready for 30 seconds. This changes Primal Rend into Primal Ruination, a follow-up GCD that deals 740 potency in an AoE with a 70% fall off. And like all of the Inner Release GCDs before it, it is a guaranteed critical direct hit. There really isn't anything to say about Warrior. Did you like bashing enemies with a giant axe before? Well, you'll be obliterating them even more now
Warrior
with an
really does
even
have the
bigger
best-
axe.
the
It's
most
still a very
consistent
simple
job
job.
identity.
Still tons of healing, heck, even more healing now for some reason. And of course, you're just a warrior. Unga bunga. Have fun. No worries. Just enjoy it like you did before and don't worry about all those other jobs that are worrying about this change and that change. No, what do you... Hey everyone, Mr. Happy
Hey
here, and welcome to
everyone,
my
Mr.
overview on
Happy
all the
here.
Paladin updates coming to Final Fantasy. Mostly the same as it did in Endwalker, with a few nifty new animations and upgrades. For pre-level 90 updates, the most significant of them is that Goring Blade is now only available for 30 seconds after using Fight or Flight. It also shares a button with it, so when you use Fight or Flight, it will become Goring Blade until you actually use it. Ideally, you're going to use this during the Fight or Flight buff itself since, you know, damage. Atonement also got a small upgrade. It's now a 3-part action combo. Instead of just using Atonement 3 times back to back, the second and third times you use the skill will have updated names and animations. The combo is now Atonement into Supplication into Sepulture. The second and third combo actions do get progressively higher in potency, but fortunately you can still freely interrupt the combo and use the 3 atonement stacks whenever works best for you. As for their post-level 90 upgrades to existing skills, there's a few basic ones that are pretty
Have
much the same
Fabled
across
4
all of the
atonement
tanks. At level
combo.
92, you'll get Sentinel Mastery, which upgrades Sentinel to Guardian. It now reduces the damage you take by 40% instead of 30%,
40?
and also grants the Paladin a 1000 potency barrier on themselves. So it's a pretty
What
significant
content?
upgrade. At
The
level
ult- the
94, you get
ultimates that are in
Enhanced
Dawn Trail are gonna
Rampart,
be
which
nuts.
adds a healing received buff to the skill. You also get Melee Mastery at 94, which increases the potency of almost all of your GCD skills, excluding Holy Circle and Goring Blade. And finally, at level 98, you get Enhanced Reprisal, which increases the duration of the debuff to 15 seconds. For brand new skills, Paladin just gets a few small ones. At level 96, they get Requiescant Mastery, changing it into a new skill, Imperator. This is an AoE upgrade that comes with a hefty potency increase as well, though functionally it's still the same as Reprisal. You still use it to go into your Confiteor combo, and maybe you optimize it a little bit more for AoE damage since it has that now, but all in all, you'll probably be using it almost exactly the same. Finally, at level 100, you get the Enhanced Blade of Valor trait. This causes using Blade of Valor to grant the buff Blade of Honor Ready, granting access to the skill of the same name for 30 seconds. Blade of Honor is an off-global addition to the end of your Confiteor combo, hitting for 740 potency in an AoE around the target, with a 50% fall-off. It replaces Imperator on your hotbar until it is used, though you'll likely use it almost immediately within buffs. Perhaps there's also some optimization to be had here. You can save it for up to 30 seconds, so maybe there's an AoE to hold on to it for. That's going to depend on the fight. All in all, it'll feel like you're playing almost the exact same job, which is a pro and a con depending on who you ask. Some people were not pleased with the changes to the job in 6.3, and since it's basically the same thing, if you're in that boat, you're likely not going to budge. On the flip side, it's nice to have more animations on the Atonement combo to make it more visually stimulating. Same with the update to Requiescat. The tank tools also seem to generally be getting buffed across the board, which, for me at least with Paladin, it kind of adds to the whole sword and board fantasy alongside the Holy Spellblade thing they've had going on for a few expansions. It's superficial since all the tanks are getting updates, but I don't know, for me it just...
yeah, whatever.
Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and welcome to my overview on all of the Dark Knight updates coming to Final Fantasy Early Access. Now, Dark Knight is mostly similar to its Endwalker counterpart, with some new changes and updates to potencies and animations. Before level 90, there are actually quite a few significant changes to note for when you first log into the expansion. First off, Plunge is gone, replaced with a damageless gap closer called Shadow Stride. This means you won't be weaving it during burst windows anymore and will instead use it exclusively for its intended purpose. This lowers the busyness of the burst window a little bit, though you do get some new tools in order to replace it. Biggest loss, the plunge animation. Hopefully it's still in PvP.
True.
Second, Blood Weapon becomes Delirium at level 68, and the effects are combined into one button. The Blood Weapon part only has 3 stacks now as well, down from 5 in Endwalker. The MP generation is also the same per hit for both the Delirium and Blood Weapon buffs respectively, so that does mean a bit less MP with those 2 less stacks. It also means a bit less blood is going to be generated as well, but in exchange for that, Living Shadow no longer costs blood, so it's now exclusively used for Blood Spiller and Quietus. Living Shadow also got some potency buffs to its level 88 and 99 traits, though what that means in the grand scheme still remains to be seen. After level 90, there are a bunch of standard changes that pretty much happen across all the tanks. The most unique one is Shadow Wall Mastery, which upgrades Shadow Wall into Shadowed Vigil. This upgrades the damage reduction to 40% and also grants the Vigilant buff, healing the Dark Knight for 1200 potency once they go under half HP, or after 20 seconds, whichever occurs first. The other ones are really standard across all the tanks. There's Enhanced Rampart at level 94, which adds a 15% healing received buff to the skill. Melee Mastery at level 94, which increases the potency of almost every GCD that Dark Knight has, minus Unmend and Unleash. And at level 98, they get Enhanced Reprisal, increasing the duration of the debuff to 15 seconds. For new skills after level 90, it's entirely upgrades to existing skills. At level 96, Dark Knight gets Enhanced Delirium, which upgrades Blood Spiller and Quietus to new skills, Scarlet Delirium and Impalement. Scarlet Delirium is actually a 3-part combo to replace your 3 Deliriumed Blood Spillers. The combo goes Scarlet Delirium into Comeuppance into Tor Cleaver. The potency scales up with each hit as well, starting at 600, going to 700, and finally 800. Impalement, on the other hand, is just a stronger and cooler version of Quietus. And at level 100, they get Enhanced Living Shadow 3. When you use Living Shadow, you gain the Scorn buff for 30 seconds, changing the Living Shadow button into Disesteem. This is simply an 800 potency line AoE off global with a 50% fall off. Another big damage skill to add into your burst window, one of the things that will be replacing those plunges. Esteem himself will also gain access to the skill, replacing his usual use of Carven Spit. His version does 620 potency with a 25% fall off. All in all, it should feel like you're playing almost the exact same job. Maybe you'll muscle memory mess up some things like, shadow striding when you would have plunged, for example. The 1200 less MP from the Delirium Blood Weapon combo might also have some effect on Edge or Floods during burst, but not anything too major. Honestly, I'm just shocked that the only new healing they got was on Shadow Vigil. Don't get me wrong, it's nice, but it's once every 2 months. Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and welcome to my overview on all of the Summoner updates coming to Final Fantasy XIV in Dawn Trail. Some early access. Now, Summoner is almost entirely the same job as an Endwalker, for better or worse. The only notable change to your existing skills before level 90 is that Searing Light is now a 5% damage buff instead of 3, but only lasts 20 seconds instead of 30. After level 90, there's a few traits upgrading existing skills and a few important new skills to slot right into what you were already doing. Some of these are going to be the same across the different casters as well. You'll get Enhanced Swift Cast at level 94, lowering its cooldown to 40%. You'll get Arcane Mastery at the same level, buffing a ton of the summoner's potencies across the board. I don't even want to go through all of those. And finally, you get Enhanced Addle at level 98, increasing the duration of the debuff to 15 seconds. Summoner then gets some upgrades to its existing skills that'll not feel much different to what you're doing now. At level 92, for example, you get Enhanced Fester, simply changing the skill to Necrotize and increasing its potency by a fair amount. At level 96, you get Enhanced Searing Wind. This causes the skill to grant the Ruby's Glimmer buff for 30 seconds, causing the skill to change into Searing Flash until it's used. This is simply a 600 potency AoE off global, which you'll be looking to throw into your buff windows for another big hit. And then at level 100, you do get a couple of new things. First up is Summon Solar Bahamut. This will replace every other Dreadworm or Firebird trance and summon respectively, ideally always lining up with your 2-minute buff window. It functions nearly identical to the others as well, coming with its own Astral Flow, Enkindle, and even a new special move. When summoning Solar Bahamut, you'll also enter Lightworm Trance, changing Ruin 3 and Tri-Disaster into Umbral Impulse and Umbral Flare respectively. Umbral Impulse is notably a few potencies shy of Fountain of Fire from Firebird Trance, but to make up for it, all of Solar Bahamut's other attacks are much more powerful, including his generic auto attack, Lux Wave, which in this build was 33% stronger than both Bahamut and Phoenix's auto attacks. Your Astral Flow is Sun Flare, which just nukes the opponent for a 700 potency AoE with a 60% fall off. Your Enkindle is Exodus, a 1600 potency AoE with a 60% fall off. And finally, upon entering Lightworm Trance, you also gain the buff Refulgent Lux for 30 seconds, granting access to a new skill, Lux Solaris. This ability is a 500 potency AoE heal on a 60-second cooldown, which doesn't really matter because you'll only be using this once every Solar Bahamut, which is once every 2 minutes. So think with that as you like.
Just
its radius is only
make
15
it different
yards,
than
but
the
since it doesn't
Phoenix.
deal any damage, you can freely use it anytime in that 30-second buff window.
Give them other summons
That's
aside
it,
from Bahamut.
summoners. I know a lot of people were hoping for the job to develop a bit more with its involvement with the expansion changes, but for anyone largely enamored with the summoner job fantasy, it'll be down to how you feel about Solar Bahamut. I'm definitely in the camp that I'd have preferred to not see another Bahamut, lore of the job aside, so I'm not super into what I'm seeing for Summoner in Dawntrail. That being said,
Yeah.
Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and welcome to my
They did need
overview on
more
all
stuff
of the
to
Black
do.
Mage. Now to what you see in early access.
Which is
Now, Black Mage
good,
has
I
seen a
guess, but
significant amount of changes at all levels. It may look very similar on the surface, but seasoned players will recognize the more nuanced effects of many of the changes. Let's start with stuff that'll be different as soon as you log in for Dawntrail. First, the way Black Mages regenerate MP has completely changed. Instead of Umbral Ice restoring MP every few seconds on the server tick, you now generate MP upon landing an Ice spell while under the effect of Umbral Ice.
Summoner.
At Umbral Ice 1 and 2, you
I really wish that they would have, like, one, I saw the icon for Solar Bahamut and I was like, oh my god, we're getting Ixion. I was like, finally. We're going somewhere outside of Phoenix and Bahamut. And then here comes Bahamut Nobody from Kingdom Hearts 4. I'm like, okay, cool, never mind. And then I was like, oh, maybe after you get done with Solar Bahamut, we get some new animations for like Garuda Titan and Ifrit. No. We get nothing. It's like, really?
only generate 5,000 MP or
Some
2,500
8.0
for really
copium that
early
I'm going to be
levels.
holding on to
But
in
at
the next
Umbral-
couple of years is that with them being like, we really want to focus on job identity in 8.0, that we actually get some significant breaks from the homogenization that's been going on. We get actually very distinct feeling classes. I don't care about the damage. Damage doesn't matter. I just want each class to feel thematically different than what they were. If the next X Pack rolls around and Summoner just gets like Blue Phoenix, then I mean, I'm not playing the class anyway, so I'm not going to do anything. But if we just get a Phoenix recolor, we're gonna have to go into the Summoner mains in the Balance Discord and put them all on Suicide Watch.
Ice 3, you generate the whole 10,000 MP. So one Blizzard 4 will mean you're good in most scenarios, but Transpose might be a little rougher around the edges if you need to use it for just a panic swap. As such, Umbral Soul now grants you MP in the same fashion for downtime phases. Every time you use it, you'll get a chunk of MP back. However, it only gives 2,500 MP at Umbral Ice 1, 5,000 at 2, and 10,000 at 3. Fortunately, it raises your Umbral Ice level with each use, and odds are you'd want to use it 3 times during most downtime scenarios, as is for the hearts. Speaking of Umbral Soul, Despair will actually become Umbral Soul on your hotbar now as well, unless of course you want to separate the two for muscle memory or whatnot. Fire 4 and Blizzard 4 will also do the same thing, so they also don't need to be separate buttons on your hotbar anymore.
Interesting.
Next, the Thundercloud trait has been completely removed. In its place, you now gain the Thunderhead buff for 30 seconds anytime you initially enter Astral Fire or Umbral Ice, or whenever you swap between the two. Thunder spells require Thunderhead to cast, meaning that all your Thunder spells are now instant cast, and they're all based on these Thunderhead procs. Their potencies have been adjusted accordingly. There's no longer that really low amount of initial damage.
What? So the Black Mage bar is going to be like 5 buttons. And then a bunch of utility spells to get you moving around. Okay.
Damage, and then the huge burst of damage whenever you get a proc. They just
I'm
have
actually
flat
kinda
values
alright
that
with
you'll
that.
always be experiencing every time you cast them. This ensures an instant cast Thunder very often in your rotation, and you'll no longer be hard casting them at all. Paradoxes also had several updates. For one, it's now only available upon entering Astral Fire while under the effect of Umbral Ice 3 and having 3 Umbral Hearts. So there's no more Ice Paradox at all.
That's weird.
However, the Fire Paradox is now instant cast and also automatically procs Firestarter without needing a sharp cast or random proc.
Okay,
now,
that's good.
speaking of sharp casts, it's gone. Kind of excessive when most of the proc systems are
What?
gone as well.
I didn't even
though
notice.
Firestarter does still exist at the lower levels with that 40% fire proc chance. Finally, Mana Font has had a ton of effects added to it. It now grants the full 10,000 MP upon use, instantly grants the Thunderhead proc, provides another use of Paradox, and grants 3 Umbral Hearts. It's basically a full reset for Astral Fire, allowing you to do your full fire rotation a second time. So all of that is super important, and that's before even factoring in the post-90 changes. Like the other casters, it gets enhanced Swift Cast at level 94, reducing the ability's cooldown to 40 seconds, as well as enhanced Addle, which extends the debuff's duration to 15 seconds. It also gets some more Black Mage exclusive traits. Enhanced Enochian 4 at level 96 increases Enochian's damage bonus to 30%, and Enhanced Polyglot 2 at 98 provides a third stack of Polyglot, which we all kind of saw coming, but damn, that's a lot of Polyglot. Now for brand new skills above level 90, first you'll start with Thunder Mastery 3 at level 92. This will simply update your Thunder spells into High Thunder for single target and High Thunder 2 for AoE.
That's actually kind of like a huge win for Black Mage, because I mean I really like Black Mage. It's the caster I like to play. So just being able to hit a button and just being like, well, here's everything that you would use in your burst just back for you again. It feels kind of good because I just like to hit button and, you know, I like spell speed Black Mage. So this is all big W for me.
They otherwise function exactly the same, or at least in line with the Thunderhead changes that I mentioned earlier. At level 96, Black Mages learn Enhanced Ley Lines. This will cause the Ley Lines button to change after it is activated into Retrace. Retrace allows you to move your ley lines to your current location a single time throughout its duration. This opens up a whole lot more movement tech, or at the very least makes it that if you need to move during a mechanic during your 2-minute window, you can at least at some point bring your ley lines with you. Really curious to see how some of the fight tech ends up working for this, but remember, you can only use it once per ley line, so don't misuse it. Finally, at level 100, you get Enhanced Astral Fire. This causes Fire 4 and Flare to grant a new buff, Astral Soul. Fire 4 grants 1 stack of Astral Soul, and Flare grants 3. At 6 stacks, you'll be given the ability to cast Flare Star. This is a 350 potency fire AoE with a 60% fall off. Now remember, 350 seems low, but don't forget that number is amplified by Astral Fire. It's actually 10 potency higher than Despair on that first target hit, with the same cast time as well. So you'll be casting this at the end of all of your fire phases. These Black Mage changes are going to be a bit of a divisive discussion amongst players until we see what the long-reaching results of these changes will be. Many were already upset at the loss of the mana tick for Umbral Ice from the live letter, because it meant that certain high-level tech would no longer be possible.
Yeah, I don't care about mana tick.
However, Black Mage has always been a highly skill-expressive job, and its players are quite big-brained. So I'm curious to see what a full-time veteran Black Mage player is able to extrapolate from these updates and changes. For the average player who may just occasionally dabble in Black Mage or may just want to try it for the first time, this should provide some ease of use in a lot of places. So overall, I say it's a win for
it
Black
feels a lot more
Mages,
intuitive.
but we'll see what the pros have to say.
And you don't have
But
to like fight with mana ticks. I'd like min-max it. Not that I was ever going to do that or did. But the only thing that I'm really ever disappointed in Black Mage is that in Ice Phase, you don't really do anything in Ice Phase, and you still don't. You just Blizzard 3 for your full mana bar back. And then you get your Noble Hearts, and then you try to immediately go back into Astral Fire. Which is like, yeah, I understand that this is where all the damage is, but why can't we do something interesting with our Ice Phase? Blizzard is an important spell too. I just want people to understand that. I haven't done the melees. All right, let's go take a gander at Dragoon. We got enough for one more.
Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and welcome to my overview on all of the Dragoon updates coming to 14 in Dawntrail. I was recently given the opportunity to try the expansion out early at the North American Media Tour, and that includes checking out the job changes. So when you're done with this video, be sure to look at all the other videos. I'll put a playlist in the description, so it's easy to find. Quick disclaimer, reminder that Dawntrail is still in development, and so everything you see in here, potencies, abilities, whatever, it's all still subject to change, so don't be surprised if things are a bit different come early access. Now, while everyone was really fearing the Dragoon rework before we had any details, the job is largely similar to its Endwalker counterpart with a few notable changes, both to the job at level 90 and its new skills beyond. First, some of the changes to existing systems for the job. The biggest one is that you no longer have eyes on your gauge. Mirage Dive is now simply a follow-up to your jump or hide.
Right, before I do anything else, I need to double check. Did Whoops have access to? Yes, he did. Does he have? I see nothing about. He's the Dragoon main that I go to. Okay.
Jump for additional potency,
Dragoons
and eyes are
are
no longer required at all to activate
by
Life of
melee
the
of
Dragon.
choice.
Instead, Gearskogel is now a 60-second cooldown, and upon pressing it, you will immediately enter Life of the Dragon, along with gaining 3 stacks of Nastron ready. Life is also now a 15% damage boost, but only lasts 20 seconds instead of 30. That being said, it's as busy as it was before, if not busier than it was, because now you have to do 3 Nastrons, a Star Diver, and another new attack during a shorter time frame. Nastron only has a 2-second recast now, so you can do it 3 times, not the 10-second one it had before. There are a few other changes as well, even up to level 90. Battle Litany is now a 20-second buff, up from 15 seconds before, lining it up with most other buff changes in Dawntrail. Your 5-part combo now also has a new finisher from level 64 and onward called Drake's Bane. This just replaces the final GCD in your 5-part combo, whether it be Wheeling Thrust or Fang and Claw. This attack has a bit more potency and no positional requirements, reducing the number of total positionals you have in your rotation. Speaking of positionals, Dragon Sight is no more. With one less positional and the added damage to life of the dragon, it seems they determined it was no longer worth the macro or targeting headaches the skill was causing amongst players.
Wait, where's my...
And finally, a change that we
Dragon
actually
Sight.
learned in the live letter, Spine Shatter Dive is no more. In its place, you now have Winged Glide, a no damage gap closer. This will give Dragoon a much more open amount of mobility, now having both the backflip and the 2 non-damage gap closers for you to utilize, instead of always using them during burst windows and then not having them for later. Now to see how many Dragoons keep backflipping during their opener and to get around instead of using the new skill. After level 90, they get a few changes that are pretty standard for all the melee jobs. At level 94, you get Enhanced Second Wind, bumping the potency to 800. You also get Melee Mastery at that level, upping the potency of their more powerful single-target GCDs. And then at level 98, you get Enhanced Feint, increasing the debuff's duration to 15 seconds. The new skills after level 90 are mostly updates and follow-ups to existing skills. At level 92, you get Enhanced Dragonfire Dive, causing the attack to grant Dragon's Flight for 30 seconds. This buff changes the skill into Rise of the Dragon, a 550 potency AoE off global with a 50% fall off. Just another bonus OGCD during 2s to replace one of those missing Spine Shatter dives. At level 96, Dragoons get Lance Mastery 4, and this simply updates Vorpal Thrust and Disembowel to Lance Barrage and Spiral Blow. They function the same still, but with updated animations and higher potency. Finally, at level 100, you learn Enhanced Star Diver. This causes the attack to grant Star Cross ready for 20 seconds, transforming Star Diver into Star Cross. This is another OGCD for your life window, dealing 700 AoE potency with a 50% fall off. So basically, both your Spine Shatter dives got replaced with something else in the expansion for your burst. So Dragoons were super afraid, but all in all, they'll feel very similar to Endwalker. No longer needing to manage eyes and life windows will likely be seen as a gameplay downgrade to some of the more hardcore Dragoons, as well as Jerskogul being 60 seconds instead of 30 now, meaning it's a little less involved. But compared to the doom and gloom fears most had before, it seems the job made out relatively unscathed with some quality of life to boot. We'll see how career Dragoons react to this once they hear about all the information. I know one reaction they'll have though. Dragoon, where's you wanna get Dragoon a defensive cooldown at some point? Monk gets an AoE heal, everyone else has everything going on. Yeah, but enhanced second wind, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I know they still didn't get a defensive. And that's going to be a wrap for my...
Why? Why would you take away I? The best part about Dragoon.
Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and welcome to my overview on all of the Samurai updates coming to 14 in Dawn Trail. I was recently given the opportunity... Now, while Samurai is mostly similar to before, it has gotten some notable changes level 90 and under. Most importantly, Tsubame Geishi is now only usable after using Mekkyo Shisui, which provides the Tsubame Geishi ready buff for 30 seconds. This eliminates one element of the Samurai cooldown management, so consider it quality of life. They also removed the ability to use Tsubame Geishi on Higanbana, which was pretty fair because most everyone I know says never to do it. They also gave an update to Shoha. There's no longer 2 different ones. Instead, Shoha itself is just a line AoE now. This addresses the common complaint from Endwalker of button bloat with Shoha 1 and 2. Finally, for 90 and under changes, Third Eye got a skill upgrade. At level 82, Third Eye now becomes Tengetsu. It still provides the gauge upon being hit, but now also grants Tengetsu's Foresight for 8 seconds. This will heal the Samurai when the buff expires, so it acts like a delayed heal. It's sort of bringing back Merciful Eyes in some capacity, but it's on a timer and not like a separate button. Now for post-90 stuff, first are some standardist things across all of the melee. At level 94, you get Enhanced Second Wind, bumping the potency of that up to 800. You also get Way of the Samurai 3 at that same level, coming with a ton of potency updates. Then at level 98, you get Enhanced Feint, which increases the debuff's duration to 15 seconds. For brand new stuff, there's a bunch of transform skills and some new follow-up attacks. At level 92, you get Hakaze Mastery, transforming your most basic GCD into Gyofu. It's just nice to have a new animation and some more damage after all these years. At level 94, you get Enhanced Hisatsu, which reduces the cooldown on Sene and Gurren to 60 seconds, and it'll feel nice to get the extra use out of those in longer fights. At level 96, you get Enhanced Ikishoten 2, which causes the buff to grant Zanshin ready for 30 seconds upon use. This changes Ikishoten into Zanshin on your hotbar, a 900 potency off global that hits in a cone in front of you with a 60% fall off after the first target. It costs 50 gauge, so you'll basically be using Ikishoten on Zanshin. Another big OGCD to use during buffs. Finally, at level 100, you get Enhanced Mekkyo Shisui 2. This causes the skill to grant the Tendo buff for 30 seconds. This transforms your next either Tenka Goken or Midari Setsugeka into Tendo Goken or Tendo Setsugeka, buffing their potencies and giving them new animations. Tendo also affects your Tsubame Geishi follow-ups, which will transform into Tendo Keishi equivalents to match the potencies of the Tendo buffed Sen skills. Basically, you use these skills in the exact same way. They're just way stronger. So Samurai has mostly preserved what it was with a few simple updates. The bonus heal on Tengetsu screams Deep Dungeon to me, though its mid-fight use case is really good too. Heck, I think they just got tired of Samurai's early pulling bosses for the extra gauge, you know what I mean? So they gave him a delayed heal. Shoha being one button is great now, and it otherwise should feel like almost the same job. Every expansion this job gets more and more massive hits, and I get more and more jealous. So Samurai mains, I think you're probably eating good. Anyway, that's going to be a wrap for my video.
Alright.
Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here. Welcome to my
Mr.
overview
Happy
on
here.
all of the ninja. Has had some significant changes made to the job's existing kit, with some new stuff thrown in at the new levels. It should still feel very similar to
This will
how
be the
it
last
was
video. I
before,
gotta
though.
jump up after
First
this.
up, Huton's haste buff is
Relatively
now
short day
gone,
today,
replaced with a passive trait that just grants you the attack
We
speed
stream
when you hit
Monday,
level
Tuesday,
45.
Wednesday next week.
Huton itself
I'm
is now an
probably going
AoE
forward,
attack
honestly.
on the target that grants access to Trick Attack. It's basically AoE Suiton now. Also, Horizon is gone entirely with this change. In the Windmill Gauge's place is now the Kazamatoi Gauge. This stocks up to 5 kunai-looking symbols. You generate 2 Kazamatoi whenever you land a comboed Armor Crush, and 1 is consumed every time you use a comboed Aeolian Edge, giving it a 60 potency boost.
Oh,
Just
okay.
make sure you always have a buffed Aeolian Edge handy,
1, 2
and ensure
Armor
you
Crush,
don't
1,
end
2
fights with any, or at the
Aeolian
very
Edge.
least not many, left over. It'll just let you know how much potency you potentially wasted. The last pre-90 change is that Mug actually got a skill upgrade. At level 66, Mug now becomes Dokumori. This gives it a new animation and a higher potency, but the same overall effect. Looks much more ninja-like. After 90, there are some traits that are pretty much shared across all the melees in some capacity. At level 94, you get Enhanced Second Wind, bumping the potency up to 800. You get Melee Mastery 3 at that level as well, upping the potency of a ton of your skills and abilities on Ninja. Then at level 98, you get Enhanced Feint, increasing the debuff's duration to 15 seconds. For brand new stuff for Ninja, it's mostly upgrades and follow-ups to existing skills. At level 92, they get Trick Attack Mastery, transforming the skill into Kunai's Bane. This raises the potency and, more importantly, makes it AoE. It also removes the bonus potency for hitting from the rear, so apply Kunai's Bane debuff from any side safely. At level 96, they get
AoE
Enhanced
trick.
Dokumori. This causes your now upgraded Mug to give you the Higi buff for 30 seconds after use. This changes your next Hellfrog Medium or Babakakra into Death Frog Medium or Zesho Meppo respectively. Same effect, more damage, new animation. Finally, at level 100, they get Enhanced Tenchi Jin. This causes the skill to grant Tenri Jindo ready for 30 seconds after you complete all of your ninjutsus under the effect. This will change the button into Tenri Jindo, a 1000 potency off global with a 50% fall off. Another big damage ability for your buff windows. Even though the Huton management is gone, the other core aspects of the job are largely intact. There's still some minor buff management with Kazamatoi, and many skills got a more ninja-esque aesthetic to them, and you get AoE Trick now, which is pretty cool. This adds a bit of cohesion between single target and AoE rotations, and just gives you some fancy new stuff to look at when you're doing burst. I think ninjas will overall be pretty pleased with these changes if they enjoyed the job in Endwalker. But that's going to be a wrap for my video on the ninja changes.
Interesting. All right. Like I said, I need to jump up. So we got Yinlin very early. And maybe less than 100 pulls for a weapon in her. So that means I can save for probably Jinsei. Depending on what she is. But that being said, wrap it up today, and I'll be back guaranteed Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. I might do some more. I don't know. That just kind of depends on workload. But thanks again for stopping by. I will see y'all later.